Welcome to MTVG Rising Stars. From September 12 to October 19, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semi-finals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualification for the first MCBG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching.
Does the Lord of Lava also crave the Sovereign's blood?
Fool! The tyrants from Minsk will only bring doom! Their brutal dominion, our warriors were corrupted into foul bonds of decay. Sovereign of the Abyss, Obsidia. Her curse still flows. than the sovereign's blood.
Such loyal little puppets, aren't you?
You are merely a puppet, no different from my spawns. Bow to me. Keep your throne, or be destroyed.
The Abyss bows to no one!
For the abyss!
These wretched spawns reek of its corruption. Your sovereign has a god to kill.
Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12 to October 19, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semifinals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualification for the first MCBG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching. Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12 to October 19, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semifinals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualification for the first MCGG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching. Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12 to October 19, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semifinals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualification for the first MCGG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching.
MPL Singapore Season 10 is powered by Moonton and Pulse Nova Entertainment. Presented by IAT, your homegrown bubble tea brand since 2011. Official gaming chair partner DX Racer, the pioneer of the world's first gaming chair. Our partner in esports, Future Living and Singapore Esports Association. Our official playoffs venue partner, The Centrepoint. And our official broadband partner, My Republic. And welcome back. It is the grand finals, guys. We are going into the grand finals. It is a best of 7. Team Evil versus Flash SG. This is the be-all end-all. It has been weeks of gameplay. It has been years of training, months of blood, sweat, and tears. And this is all that they're fighting for, the trophy here today. And guys, we are here in Center Point. Who is here for Team Evil? And who is here for Flash SG? Alright, guys, I know we all are hyped. There has been an entire weekend of crazy games, so many best of 5s that went all the way. But we're gonna go straight into the action and straight to our casters, Abstract and Jace. Alright, never mind. We are not going to go to Abstract and Jace. We are going to go to look at the lovely MPL Singapore Season 10 trophy. It is a little bit sharp, but very, very big and absolutely gorgeous, guys. The winner of today gets to represent Singapore at M7 in Jakarta. And they are going to be representing Singapore, and they're going to be the pride and joy of us here. And so now that the casters are ready, let's head over to Abstract and Jace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is nigh, and we are now going to be looking at the final series of the very long MPL SG Season 10. It has been a month. A lot of dramas, lots of upsets, and like what I mentioned, this is the most competitive MPL Singapore that we've ever seen thus far. Nothing can be as close as this right now, Abstract.
Indeed. So, I gotta have to say that this series of today is gonna span all the way down to a best of 7 throughout the entire 7 possible games. We are just wondering if whether this will be the coronation for a brand new king, or are we in the end going to be looking at the undying sovereign that Flash Singapore has gotten for themselves?
That's right, you saw the videos yourself. 4-peat for MPL Singapore. It is Team Flash that reigns supreme thus far. And now there is a new challenger once again. And this challenger, as compared to the previous few seasons, man, there is a chance for Team Evil to finally get this MPL Singapore this season.
For the side of Team Evil, they have been training, they have been playing, and they have been doing everything within their control to finally be at the point where they are just within an arm's reach away from that throne, that crown that we are talking about.
Yes, and of course, you know, Abstract, Team Evil coming in the MPL Singapore scene since Season 3. A bunch of nobodies from the start, and now they're finally one of the Titans joining in their ranks and actually threatening Team Flash as well. Now the biggest question that all of us have here, all over the internet, all over the world, watching us live here in MPL Singapore, will they secure a 5-peat?
As far as we're concerned, and throughout the information that we may have found, this might be the very first 5-peat in the history of Mobile Legends Bang Bang competitive scene.
Yes, of course, but another question that we also have to ask is whether there will be a new champion to be crowned. MPL Singapore always usually have one solid team that's super strong, that dominates the scene over and over again. The past 3 champions, technically speaking, EVOS, all the way to RSG, then after that, Team Flash. Will this season, Season 10, a double-digit season, would it be a repeat? Or will it be a new champion that will be crowned today?
We'll always be questioning and identifying if whether this is finally the ascension of evil. And this is a difficult moment for Evil themselves.
It is.
And perhaps even for Flash Singapore.
And it's going to be the first if we are sending Team Evil all the way to literally M7, right? Technically speaking, no organization backing. This is a community team from the upgoing. The Singaporean dream, technically speaking, would they go to the international stage, Abstract?
Now, of course, throughout the entire of M7 World Championship, we already have some possibilities, and of course some of the teams that have already kind of showed themselves. We here in MPL Singapore will be having only one team that will represent Singapore in the M7 World Championship.
That's right.
We of course gotta have to identify which team that would be.
Unfortunately, Abstract and ladies and gents, there's only one slot to M7. It could either go to Team Evil or Team Flash.
For the Evil fans out there that have been waiting for the coronation of Evil, the ascension of them, this is the graphics that you want to see. While in the meantime for Team Flash, this is not what they want. But we wanted to know if whether the barrier will be broken and if whether there will be any difference in the upcoming M7 World Championship with a new team that will be sent in the national stage.
On international stage, we, technically speaking, it's not really going strong for us, but hear me out. Maybe this time around there could be a miracle. We were so close for one of MSE when we secured top 4. But this time around, hopefully, maybe with a new champion, or perhaps with a refreshed Team Flash, would they be able to break this barrier?
Speaking of Team Flash, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta have to identify and name the reigning champions of 4 years. Who is gonna be the one that, of course, is in this roster? Ladies and gentlemen, Flash Singapore!
This is Team Flash, Singapore, ladies and gents. Bear, Hades, Curtizi, Vanix, and Jay. They climbed so hard during the regular season, a little bit of a shakiness in the start, but they managed to stabilize the waters during the playoffs, and they are finally here. They're the first team that arrived to the grand final. Sure, they did not have to play 2 days earlier, and this time around, locking in this roster without JPL, but this is the brand new Team Flash that we're looking at.
As James has mentioned, a rather turbulent showing throughout the entirety of the regular season. Statistically, in their own regular season, they fought against Team Evil. However, to no avail and was unable to take that series win. Understandably, the regular season is, of course, a very good statistic and a very good idea to find out who is on top of one another, with Team Evil hailing a 2-1 scoreline. However, they did manage to stabilize themselves a little bit further on, especially into this playoff. Their hard work and dedication coming into this playoff have definitely paid dividends.
Definitely. Team Flash, by the way, you know, they won Team Evil yesterday. But of course, we're gonna have to take a look on the other side of the aisle, ladies and gents. It is, of course, the new challenger of MPL Singapore, ladies and gents. Give it up for Team Evil.
With Team Evil in play, a potential supper, we have Gear, Aether, Sailor, Van, and Powerful. As much as we see these 5 throughout the entire year since Season 3, the lineups has changed, but their players and playstyle have never changed. As such, they're finally here in the grand finals to once again challenge for the throne.
Yeah, of course, you know, since Season 3, Powerful, the main anchor of Team Evil, he had one dream and one dream in mind, to come in and challenge the status quo. And here he is once again. He's been here before in one of the seasons, and they kind of faltered just a little bit once again against Team Flash. But this time round, with a bit of a dream, maybe abstract, this time it will be different.
This season is the season. As we mentioned that to Evil a couple of times before, and many of the other community tournaments, or rather, the community also echoes that. There were definitely some shakiness in a couple of these teams in Season 10, and we could possibly be able to tell that kind of story through this head-to-head.
Yes, definitely. If you take a look at the stats, Flash SG, as of now, thus far, a very aggressive team, even more aggressive as compared to Team Evil. KDA 4.2 versus 3.6, even though Team Evil technically got more gold. But Team Flash, once again, based on the total turtle that you're seeing right here, they are really solid in the early game, but once they got that inch in the early game, they will go a certain mile, or even a kilometer, or even a light year, especially when you go to a later part of the game. But Team Evil has more lords that they secured more turrets as well. But overall, stats only can tell you thus far. We need to take a look at the games later on, Abstract. This is going to be super, super tight between these two teams.
A quick little throwback, especially for the members of Evil, as they have played a total of 5 games before this grand final. This is, of course, another testament to their stamina, if whether they will be able to hold out all the way through after 5 grueling games against Kingdom Esports. If Kingdom Esports has done anything, that will be bringing their stamina all the way down and putting Evil in a hard spot. Otherwise, if it's over to their advantage, it helped them identify and understand drafting a lot better, which could potentially flip the script of what Team Flash did to them in the upper bracket finals.
Gonna go into the first map of the day, ladies and gents, for the grand finals. It is going to be a dangerous grass map. This map is very dangerous, definitely for the side of Team Flash and also Team Evil, because
it's all up to the Romans. It's going to be a Jay versus Powerful kind of matchup because you really have to really open up as much of these grass as possible, and it all lies on the responsibility of Jay and also Powerful. Knowing how Team Evil likes to play usually is that Powerful is very active around the map, scouting out most of the things. And like what you mentioned, Abstract, they've shown quite a few games earlier today, and I'm very sure Team Flash, especially Coach Adamir, has been taking notes.
As we move on to take a look at the first few bans, it does seem like we do have Team Flash that goes out for the Jusin, Cici, and Yu Jong ban Evil with the Hayabusa, Baxia, and Farsa. Understandably, we have seen a couple of these heroes played and banned many times before.
The Ishinshin looks really juicy for the first pick team for the side of Team Flash. They'll snap pick it for the side of Hades, showing their hands right off the bat. Don't forget earlier just now, Team Evo, they let the Ishinshin pass, give it over to the side of the enemy, and they ultimately got punished. Hopefully this time around, this is going to be a slightly different Team Evo that probably practice against Ishinshin. They need to find a way to stop this Ishinshin right off the bat before they got snowballed out of control.
Now, understandably, when it comes down to R3, there might be a very high probability that Evil might want to focus and prioritize that Lancelot. Understandably, because of the Fredrin that they have played before, I'm not too sure if whether that was a... I would say if whether that was a matchup against Kingdom that just doesn't work and they want to try that with Team Flash or not. Because what I would like to see from Evil is play with their strongest hand right off the bat. Right. This will boost their morale and it gives them the tempo that they need to go up against this tyrant that has been standing on the throne for so long.
Got a catch up, snap pick up by the side of Team Flash in the hands of Jay. Lapu Lapu as well, technically denied by the side over to Gear. There's something that Bear can also play to greatest extent. And, you know, we also talk about how Team Evil, yep, there you go. You definitely have to go for the Lancelot right here in R3. If not, Team Flash will start taking it away. Out of the 3 games that Team Evil fielded Lancelot over the side of Aether, he has won 3 times, 100% win rate for this particular hero in the hands of Aether. And definitely Team Evil, the one that definitely can play with momentum. They need to really put their best foot forward in game number 1.
When it comes down to Team Flash's draft, Lapu Lapu is the only thing that could show any form of flexibility, with Vanix having the opportunity and of course had the short and experience with playing Lapu Lapu. As such, it might not go to Bear just yet, and it does not mean that it will go to Vanix, but there is that possibility that we gotta have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, usually when Team Flash picks a Yishin right off the bat, usually they will go for double side lane fighters. Technically speaking, this is the best of 7. This is not just a sprint anymore, Abstract. This is going to be a marathon. Maybe they're going to try using the fighter side lanes first in the first game, then after that tweak, and also make sure that, you know, they change the game plan along the way, because don't forget, this is the best of 7. Team Evo, on the other hand, bans away the Eve, takes away the Valentina as well. Team Flash, on the other hand, this is a very interesting ban from the side of Adamir, taking away the Esmeralda, hinting at a potential Harif as well, but they're going to take it away instead.
All right, so that is a good buy to Harif. The thing is, Evil, they still gotta have to focus on their side lanes, and Evil, my oh my, it could go anywhere. As we talk about, it's very likely going to be fighters also possible, because we do have a Kimi that could come in as the insurance for marksmen in the later stages. However, Granger does seem like a pretty good pick here.
Yep, Granger definitely looks really good, juicy for the side of Team Evil. You can pair it up alongside with the Kimi. Those are your winning combos. You have burst damage. You've got also the burst coming up from the Lancelot. The Kimi can provide that DPS. Team Flash, on the other hand, they can always swing back into... Oh, that's definitely going to be Ruby. Should be a Ruby going to the gold lane in the hands of Ved. Team Evil is going to fight fire with fire. They're going to respond with their own gold lane fighter right off the bat.
Now Team Flash, they gotta have to show all of their hands now.
Yep.
And possibly face off against that R5 X Factor. We will generally look at the Ruby and assume that that is gonna be the gold lane Ruby. As such, Team Flash, they will settle with a Granger and a Lunox in mid.
A bit of an interesting pick, drafting pattern coming up from Coach Adamir right there. snap picking the Grandeur all the way at the last moment, and then after that locking the Lunox. Because technically speaking, if you look at Cortese's hero pool, the Juicid already banned away, the Farsa, the Eve, the Valentina as well, Coach B Toy literally making it very hard for Cortese to play. But Team Evil right now, locking in the final glue. Coming in for the side of Team Evil. We haven't seen glue in a long time, ever since the past rework.
As such, ladies and gentlemen, we have got the 5 heroes that have been picked up from Team Flash, and of course the other 5 from Evil. The very first game is just about to fall through into the land of Dodd. Whichever team that manages to snag themselves the very first game will understandably be able to get quite a bit of a tempo, and this will start a mental game.
Sorry, correction. This is the first glue we have seen so far for the side of MPL Singapore.
Wait, for real?
For real.
The first glue?
Yeah, the first glue.
The very first glue of MPL Singapore Season 10.
And it's shown up in the grand finals. This could be the secret weapon, the secret glue, the secret sauce for the side of Team Evil to thwart what Team Flash have in mind.
As such, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for all of you at home, we hope that you're going to enjoy this entire series, as it will be one heck of a marathon. And everyone here at the center point, it's time to hear your voices as we go into game number 1 between Flash versus Evil.
Definitely need all the support right here, ladies and gents. It all boils down to this. Team Evil definitely looking for that first win to set the momentum right, to set the momentum straight. More importantly, for the side of Gear, he needs to perform on this glue because, like what I mentioned, this is the first time we've seen glue in MPL Singapore, and they have to make it work going up against Lapu Lapu.
Let's talk a little bit more about lane priority. The main thing is going to be the middle lane influence as to how Evil and Flash SG wants to play around with.
Well, take a look at the gold lane. We start from that one. Fenix going up against Van. Ruby, technically speaking, you're gonna it's just gonna be a neutral lane, right? Whatever Grandeur will be able to do against the Ruby earlier in the game is always gonna be absorbed and lifesteal all the way back. Now, I'm looking at the mid lane pick instead, right? For the side of Flash and Team Evil. Hold on a second. Jay, really hard invading, trying to put some dent over the side of Aether's farming.
A little bit of aggression from the side of Jay. It did definitely give some information over to Team Flash SG. And when it comes down to experience between the Romans, Jay definitely do have a bit of that higher ground. With him coming in at level 3 already, it's not that big of a deal until we talk about the level 4 power spike, especially for the Romans.
Yeah, a little bit awkward in my opinion for the side of Cortese to go for the wall will reveal Hades right now. Try to go back there. Will not be able to do anything for now, but items check. Mostly all boots except for Gear going for the Dreadnought armor right off the bat.
This is not exactly right, and something is different about the pathing of Hades. Something is different, as Hades is currently only at level 3, and it doesn't look too good as he's unable to do anything against Aether for this turtle fight.
Yeah, you're right. It seems like one of the minions got stolen right off the bat earlier just now. Not too sure what exactly happened right there. Then Evil, because of that, pick up the first turtle already. Wonderful start for Team Evil so far.
We definitely gotta have to look back a little bit to really identify what have went wrong. As one thing's for sure is that we actually, I think the Yushin Shin started off at the purple buff first.
Aether is actually did the quick counter jungle against the enemy right off the bat. Earlier just now when you see the split screen,
right?
That is actually on the blue side of the map. Aether first creep is actually Team Flash's orange buff. That's why.
Oh, we have missed that out.
It's very quick because
it's very quick.
We go straight into the split screen. You won't be able to tell.
As such, this is going to be important information. That means that Team Flash, they didn't really quite manage to open the map up enough. And Jay, that's probably the reason why he actually had a little bit of a higher level as opposed to Evil, because he's kind of forced to go over to the opponent jungle. That's why he went over to the purple buff and be like, hey, look, there's people here, but what happened to ours?
Yeah, so technically speaking, this is how you slow down the farm for the side of Yushin Shin, right? We're already going to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Team Flash is unable to really start any sort of fight, whereas Team Evil secured the first turtle already, and now it's all about whether they can keep out the tempo, right? This is a good start for them, but I want to see more.
But Team Flash, understandably because of the EXP deficit, they wouldn't want to jump into any form of battle. As such, Evil, they are going to be the one that will pull the trigger. And if anything, they are the one that will step on the accelerator.
Yep, Team Flash definitely needs to buy a lot more time. It's all about Jay being able to provide the information. Maybe Bear will be able to step forward just a little bit to wave clear and also to output some form of damage. But Gear on the glue should be able to heal everything all the way back up. Same could be said on the side of the bottom lane where Vanix and Van just take a look. Yes, you can gun Van down, but he's going to heal everything all the way back up.
The level difference is going to make a very big difference. As such, Aether is currently at level 8 as opposed to Hades at level 6. In the meantime, unfortunately, the Traction Pulse is not going to land. Powerful with the 2-man knockup coming in for the Tectonic Charge. Katisi not in a really good spot. In the meantime, Vanix as well. As such, Aether will pick up the first kill for himself. And that also will come down to Hades being the second death of the team.
You can see that Team Flash literally put everybody right down in the turtle pit right there because they know they have to play from a deficit. Abstract. Team Evil, on the other hand, identified all of that as well and also did the exact same. Pulling everybody around the turtle pit, ensuring they have a good lead, and with that, they've secured a 2K goalie in the favor of Team Evil for now.
This sounds like a problem for the side of Team Flash, but one thing that we gotta have to remember is Evil is a composition that can play very well into the early stages, with the fact that they don't exactly have a very strong marksman as an insurance to the late stages of the game. Yes, Kimi is the marksman that we are talking about, but if you want to compare the power curve between a Kimi versus a Granger and a Sun Shin, let's not forget about that. This is a very front-to-back heavy composition from Flash that can rip the front lines to shreds.
Yep, definitely, with the help of the Lunox as well, right? Like, there's a lot of damage potential for the side of Flash SG, but they know they haven't unlocked it yet. Losing 2 members earlier just now as they attempt for a fight, that means that they really need to slow down the tempo even more. If you notice, both of these 2 side lanes for the side of Flash SG is a little bit neutralized.
As now the purple buff, it still went over to the hands of Hades, so he's still gonna be fine as much as Evil wants to choke them up a little bit more. But here we go, a little bit of immobilize onto Bear and Jay. But with the revitalize, they will stay safe for now.
Purple buff still secured by the side of Hades though.
Vanix doesn't seem like he has a lot of HP to work with. As such, he will not be able to be involved in this fight. The main thing is Evil managed to knock down half HP of the T1 mid.
That's basically HP bars that you really cannot regenerate all the way back. Team Evil found a way to basically limit Hades right there by a sneaky hard invade at the get-go. It really slowed down the pacing of Team Flash, and Team Evil is laughing at it.
Hades is still not there at all.
Not at all.
And there is no way that they're going to try to contest for this. If anything, Team Flash, they will lose in the early to the mid stages of the game. With the fact that they have lost every single neutral objective, and even some of these standing objectives, Team Flash will have no other way but to play possum within of their own lanes, anything behind of their T2, until the point where they might see any semblance of power from the side of Hades or Katisi.
J-Main damage will result some of these ultimates for now. Vanix trying to gun Van down, but Van is healing everything all the way back up, and that's so frustrating for Vanix right there. He has to back off, has to watch the bottom lane turret get taken down slowly but surely. Flash SG is losing a lot of these real estate, and Team Evil is just literally just hard invading from the get-go.
As Team Flash now having to hide within of their own base, or rather in their own jungle. They understand that as long as they have the T1 turret, they still have got some ways to play around of their purple and blue buff. But that is of course with Evil, they're trying to be as aggressive as they can. With Aether literally just knocking onto Jay, there's really nothing much that they could do. The moment that Team Flash tries to retaliate, there could be very unforgiving circumstances for Team Flash.
Yeah, Team Evil identified the AOG is already gone by the side of Jay. That's why they're really daring to step forward, opening up using the Traction Pulse, pushing Team Flash all the way back, clearing and dissecting Flash SG bit by bit. Team Evil just burning the all of Team Flash first tier turrets already.
The thing is for Team Flash, they understand that there will be consequences if they were to literally jump the gun, especially if they are not ready. They would much rather minimize their losses and try to give some of the standing objectives and perhaps even the map over to Evil.
Yep, not a lot of items for the side of Team Flash. If you notice, Vanix had to skip a boot just a little bit in order to purchase the Skypius and hoping that works. But if you take a look at Team Evo, they're more than ready to duke it out, right? They've got quite a few Crane's Wings for themselves. They're going to be a slightly more tankier, especially their HP bars going down as Team Evo, man, just going for the Lord, gunning it down immediately. No way for the side of Flash SG to step there. They're out of ideas, Abstract.
This is literally a game of items. As long as Team Flash have got some decent semblance of power from the side of Curtizi, they can defend the Lord. Remember, when it comes down to the power of the darkening, power of the chaos darkening from the side of Lunox, she can melt the Lord down with no problems at all. While in the meantime, Yi Sun-Shin, Granger, they all can try their very best to clear out some of these creep waves as well. This first Lord possibly might not do too much to the T2 in the middle lane. They might lose top lane and bottom lane T2 though.
Yeah, Flash SG, this is a very dive-heavy composition, right? You really need to go all the way in, but it seems like Team Evo is more than ready to accept it because of ban on the Ruby right there. Just gonna crack that open almost immediately. Aether even just going in, trying to make a play out of here.
Not really interested in all of that, but in the meantime, Hades gonna be the first one to go down alongside with Bear. Wait, 4 men already down for the count in that instantaneous snap of a finger. Evil have got a little bit too much in their boots. They have too much power as Flash literally evaporated right as Evil touched them. Leaving Vanix all alone.
There's going to be a speed run, Abstract.
They are definitely going to try to speed run this as much as possible. As such, Vanix is going to lose himself. The creep waves marches down the middle. Evil, just like that, took game 1.
That is perhaps one of the fastest games that we've seen so far in the Grand Finals. Team Flash, there was no fight in them. I wasn't expecting them to just literally end it right there because all of a sudden, kaput, everybody from the side of Team Flash gets deleted. There is no action. It's like a dead fish for the side of Team Flash, especially in game number 1.
To be honest, that is kind of a situation where Team Flash would say, GG, go next. I don't think that this is going to do too much to Flash, or rather Team Flash SG's morale or tempo. It is definitely a loss to them, and they definitely isn't happy about that.
Yep.
However, the early game invade and the fact that Aether is forever and always in the lead in terms of XP. Hades knew there's no contest when it comes down to any form of standing any form of neutral objectives.
Yeah, like literally, it all started from the fact that
the game is over within the first
minute. Yeah, like the first second. The fact that they used the they actually sent Aether to basically counter jungle from the get-go. And that's it, right? Like, all of a sudden, Yi Sun-Shin's power is just diminished, limited all the way down to absolutely nothing. Once your jungler is slightly behind for the first turtle, literally from the side of Team Flash, there's nobody that could step up and also, you know, do something right there. MVP, well given over the side of Aether, right? Like, it's just a macro decision that dissected Team Flash in what? 10 minutes?
10 minutes. It's sub-11. Roughly about 10 minutes and 20-ish seconds.
10 minutes, 18.
18 seconds. So, as much as this game is kind of anticlimactic, because
it is.
Evil, they just won in the early game and they just kind of steamrolled with that. My only qualm about that game is the fact that I would say Team Flash, they are very realistic. They know that the game is over and they just GG go next. It seems that way to me, right? Because they don't seem to want to try taking big fights. They're mostly just inching further backwards and backwards and backwards because they can't see an opportunity. They can't see a spacing where they can kind of jam themselves in between of that space.
Just look at the amount of turrets and turtles and lore taken by the side of Team Flash. There's nothing, right? Team Evil literally know that, you know, when you go for the Yi Sun-Shin, you really need to try to snowball as hard as possible. What Team Evil do is just hard invading, and then after that, using power to open up the map even more. And remember what I want to mention, this is a very good map for the side of Team Evil, right? Like, there's so many bushes, and nobody from the side of Team Flash is able to open up the map. Jay can't step into the bushes, if not, he's going to get blown to pieces. He tried to do, though, and he has to AOG and tap all the way out. Bear, on the other hand, that was a neutral lane on the top side. All Gear had to do is just exist, and Bear all of a sudden just couldn't perform and couldn't do any form of damage because Gear was healing everything back up. Curtizi, on the other hand, the mid lane, it is a constantly push because Sailor could just shove and then after that rotate and create opportunities around the map. Curtizi, yes, there's no targets for him as well, right? Like, if you go into the Chaos Darkening form, all Aether has to do, Thorn Rose, Phantom Execution, there's so many iframes, and you're unable to land a form of damage. And it's always a massive burst coming out of Team Evil. There's no way that Team Flash can actually do anything in that particular game.
This is for the lack of better words, quite literally a easy game for Evil.
Yeah, it
but
is.
to be fair, it is a very good decision making from the side of Evil, because this is kind of a high risk, high reward thing. If Lancelot were to be found out, there is a very high probability that he would just go down, and instead of him being able to trample on the growth of Hades, it would be him trampling on his own growth.
But I think it's possible, right? Team Evil, they know that level 1 as a Lunox, your power spike actually comes in level 2 when you add in your second skill. The first skill, on the other hand, relies on a lot of these healing items. Basically, you outlast in the team fight, wave clear, and then after that, rotate. So basically, that's what a Lunox wants to do at level 1. At level 1, Jay also couldn't do much either, right? Hades, on the other hand, yes, he can rotate and dash around and also up the damage, but he's too busy in securing and also farming up. So Evil identified a small little timing opportunity, took it, and then after that, the rest is history.
It's very unfortunate for Team Flash, I gotta have to say, but GG go next. They're gonna have to identify and take a look at game number 2. What's gonna be the difference? What is the problem? We, at least for Jace, he mentioned a little bit as to what disables them. Because of the early game, Lunox and the God of Katja, they don't have ways to realistically be able to stop that that Lancelot. And even if they do, it's gonna be difficult to catch him. They can, but it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, there's a lot of iframes, right? And even after, towards the later parts of the game, unfortunately, Lapu Lapu wasn't able to step up, right? You're expecting maybe, okay, Venice needs a lot more time. We talk about how much time they kind of needed, but unfortunately, Lapu Lapu, they're also not winning that lane. That was a neutral lane, and if you're neutral lane as a Lapu Lapu, you are slightly behind. You're supposed to be able to do anything. So Glue was a smart pick from the side of Team Evil. As long as I neutralize that lane, I neutralize bottom lane, I have a winning mid lane, and then we win around the map.
Honestly, when it comes down to Glue, it is constantly to the point where as long as you have a Glue, the opponent doesn't have a CC, the lane is yours to take.
Yep, let's take a look at the updated graphic that we have so far, ladies and gents. Just to showcase once again, this is the M7 World Championship team representative. So far, this is not locked in. Some of the teams are already locked in, mind you, for example, MPL PH, MPL, Mina as well, and also for the side of MTC. They've already locked all the way in, and now it's all about our slot in MPL Singapore. Team Evil, on the other hand, this is based on regular season stats, but of course, you know, there's a lot of things happening concurrently as well, is MPL ID at the same time.
And at this point, we do have quite a bit of these teams that have already showed themselves. And of course, I think that it is a very difficult pill to swallow, especially for us Singaporeans, as to which team is gonna be, how it's gonna be, so on and so forth, right? Right now, this is based on season statistics. Yep, right? So the most likely to make it through. However, there are of course the boxes at the bottom where it is Team Liquid Philippines, Aurora Gaming, and Aurora Turkey that have already been qualified. So those are fixed. Everywhere else, Team Falcons is also fixed. Yep. Everything else is based on team stats and the probability. Who is the one that will represent their respective country?
Yep, that's right. Now, focus back into MPL Singapore right now. For the side of Team Evil, right? This is a great start, right? This is an absolute great start. There's no answer for the side of Team Flash, and now it's gonna force, like, you know, it's gonna force Team Flash to have like a double take just a little bit. Are they gonna have to? Is it worth it to pick that Yushin Shin right off the bat? I think it's a yes, because Aether is also really strong on the Yushin Shin as well, but they went for a Lancelot, which, you know, he had wonderful showing, especially in the previous series where they went up against Kingdom Esports.
All in all, game number 2, gotta have to be a full-on reset for Team Flash Singapore. As for Team Evil, they will take what they're given. Yep. Drafting? I don't know. It seems like drafting can kind of go towards the same direction. This is game number 1 is all on about execution, right? Remember, we talked about double marksman. It worked out. It definitely worked out before. Team Flash, look at them, completely unfazed. They don't care. They know that that is their mistake. They will move on from that, and they will do whatever they can in order to take back what they have lost.
I think a solid esports team is when nothing phases you. You smile in the face of danger and you laugh at it, and then after that, you look back at your previous game mistakes, you work on it, go next, reset the mentality. Every single game is a new game. The previous game never existed. Once done, it is done.
Oh, Bear. As such, oh, wait, really? M7 Grand Finals early bird tickets has been sold out.
Oh, thank you very much, man.
Oh.
Yeah, someone's actually sneaking in some for the information to
A
us.
little bit of tidbit,
Yeah.
We have our own information broker at this point in time. Anyways, since after that game number 1, tension has definitely went down a little bit. So I think that this is the perfect time to kind of slip this right through, right? Especially for people here in the Center Point, Singapore. Some of you guys may have this activity card where you have to stand at the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Right?
You're gonna say that. I'm not gonna be able to say that.
I will say it, but you will have to listen for it, okay? So, in the very event that you guys hear a very long word that came from absolutely nowhere and might not fit in the context, the reason is because I kind of have to say it for the activity card.
Yeah, does someone have it around? Because it is... I don't even know how to say. Okay, that's...
No, you can't say it. No,
say it.
Don't. Stop.
I was on your side. I was on your side.
I heard from production, or rather admin, that
Yesterday,
they gave you the, how many words?
Three words.
3 words? This guy,
in one game.
this man blurted it all in one game.
I have intrusive thoughts, and I say it out loud.
That's
right?
why he should never ever know what the word is.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's not a word. It's an Urban Dictionary word from a show.
Wait, it is an actual word?
I don't qualify that as a word. It's just...
To me, it's just gibberish.
Did someone just say Harry Potter? Oh my god. Okay, yes, it is from Mary Poppins. Yes. So I was like, what the hell, since when Harry Potter? I only know Avada Kedavra. But yeah, that is that one very long specific word that I will have to sneak in somewhere. So to everyone here in Center Point, wait for it. Okay?
Definitely not coming from me, because I don't even know how to pronounce that word. And we talk about Avada Kedavra from the side of Harry Potter. Literally, Team Evil, Avada Kedavra, Team Flash, there's no way for them to basically collect 200 from the get-go, right? Flash SG literally got flashed and flushed down the drain immediately in game number 1. They all started that at a 1 minute. Even like us, we were like, wait, hold on a second. Why is that Yishun Shin at level 3 when Ada is already level 4? And we literally have to scrub all the way back in the footage. And that's when we're able to find out the fact that, Aether snuck the orange buff away from the side of Yishun Shin.
Literally bamboozled us, I would say. That is quite a bamboozle.
Yeah.
Is there more other words funny enough to say other than bamboozle?
Well, I'll tell you what's funny. Flying Cloud coming back into the map once again. It seems like, the rest of this MPL Singapore yesterday, it's mostly just Flying Clouds over and over again. And it seems like we were going to go back into Flying Clouds for this particular map. Flying Clouds has been a very controversial map. I'm starting to love it a little bit, especially when you are playing on the defense. You can just reinforce very quickly to the front lines or set up a very good flank on the sides. And then after that, you play for some crazy pick-up plays. Like, for example, even a potential Alice, because like Alice, I would say, is also wide open in the game earlier just now, but it wasn't picked up by any of these teams.
As such, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 is going to be on the way as we move on to the drafting phase with Evil on the first pick, first ban, and Team Flash on second pick, second ban. So far, we have the Hayabusa, Kimi, Yves, Baxia, CC, and Yi Sun Shin that has been joined in the banning pool.
Yeah, right now, all of a sudden, you can see how Team Evil is actually targeting onto Kurteezy. This is a very interesting observation. We haven't seen Kurteezy heroes getting targeted like this before. It's usually targeting onto Vanix, it's usually targeting onto Hades. But now, Coach Bito has his eyes set on Kurteezy.
And in the meantime, Coach Adam here looks into that Lancelot and be like, we're taking this for ourselves.
Yep, choosing first pick is great. Joy will be the selection from the side of Team Evil in terms of the jungle pick. Team Flash goes back to something regular because you don't want to don't want to really go ahead into the second phase ban without selecting Cartesian heroes right now. It's going to be a Farsa. Farsa is, I would say, not the best in slot, especially when you're going up against a Crop, going up against a Joy as well. So it's all about timing where Cartesian opens up the Feather Airstrike.
Honestly, at this point in time, the way that the Farsa has been added in doesn't look like a problem to me if I am in Team Evil. I have a fast-moving assassin on my end, which can kind of bounce between creeps and heroes, whereas it helps me evade all of these artillery shots. I am not afraid. In fact, the only thing that I will be afraid of is for my gold laner marksman, if Evil even would want to go towards that direction.
Yeah, even from the side of Team Flash, I really don't blame Venix at all in a particular game. It's really hard because Ven is equalizing every single poke that you're doing against Ruby, right? Like, it's just something that you really have to try to hunker down and hope for the best on the other side of the map. But if the other side of the map is neutralized, your mid lane is actually crumbling, unable to rotate faster and harder. By the way, if you are a Lunox, it's very hard for you to wave clear as quickly as compared to a Kimi. That's why, you know, Sayla is really active around the map. And don't forget, you got Aether that is just really miles and miles ahead. And if Jay doesn't really catch onto the land slot easily, it's very hard for them to do anything at all during the mid parts of the game.
The two of the most famed gold lane fighters has now joined into the banning pool. We unfortunately still don't have a right idea as to how the side lanes is going to look like. We have no fighters, no XP laners, and we have no gold laners that's shown out. And unfortunately, Evil, this time, as the first pick, first ban, will be the one to have to show their entire team lineup, giving Team Flash the possibility of outdrafting Evil with their X Factor R5.
I'm thinking Moskov right here for the side of Team Flash. Something, you tap onto the Gato Contrast Global, you'll be able to jump far away. You can deal with the Joy, you can throw Spear of Misery over there, but there's also still a CC immunity from the side of that. Oh, Yuzhong coming up.
Yuzhong has been leaked? Okay. Apparently that has been leaked all the way through.
Yep, Alice as well.
Bear is going to be real happy about this.
Yeah, Alice as well, right? Team Evil can also play this one. Imagine Alice goes in with the TOR right when the far side opens up with the Feather Heavens as well. There's some iframes from the side of Team Flash. Hopefully that's good enough. But right now, I think they're just going to leak out that leak out the goal lane just a little bit. Okay, we're going to go back into regular programming for the side of Team Evil. They tried to use it yesterday against Team Flash. But Van going in for the Cho. This is a Cho gold lane for the side of Team Evil.
I can totally understand the fact that they have decided to go towards this direction. They don't need a reason to deal with a high ground Farsa if they're just going to be playing dive all the way through. Especially with someone like Cho in the gold lane with great mobility, you can quite literally Jit Kundo and Shumpo your way and out of that ultimate from Farsa. It's either you go out or you go in, or you sidestep to the point that the ultimate from Farsa becomes irrelevant.
Is this a time where Team Flash goes for a fight to jungle? Fight to side lanes, mind you. It's going to be not the case. It's going to lock into the Moskov. And now it's once again going to be a race, right? Team Flash need a race and make sure that Moskov get a good game and also farm up. Go into the late game as quickly as possible. They've got certain regions from the side of Team Flash and able to do so. The land slot is activated right at the get-go. Very solid hero pick, especially early to mid. You have got Farsa, the Yuzhong Ds, and also the Gatakacha. These are the four heroes that really escalated tremendously at level 4.
I do extremely like the fact that there is a Moskov in this game against a dive composition. Very self-sustaining in the gold lane. And of course, you can pin the people that is chasing right after you. As such, ladies and gentlemen, this is the full lineup between Team Evil and Team Flash as we enter into game number 2, with Evil gaining their first win, completely unfought for, unchallenged. Evil is happy with game 1 win. Will that be the case again for game 2? And if whether Evil can take the second game in a row.
Well, Team Flash, at the very least, they do have heroes that these players do play very often, right? Vanix is back to his signature. Moskov, Cartesi as well, back to his signature. Farsa as well. Hades, on the other hand, also solid on these assassins. So it's up to whether Flash SG Now, this is the most comfortable position, most comfortable picks. Are they going to be able to take game number 2?
Now, of course, with the identification that each of the junglers are now in their own respective jungler. We're not going to change anything about that. And there's nothing that's going to change for the side of Hades.
Yeah. Especially when you're a Cho going up against, this is exactly what you will be able to do, right? The fighter in the early game just escalates so much faster as compared to the marksmen. The marksmen definitely need more time, and that's the power of Team Evil right now. Yesterday, when they're going up against Team Flash using almost the same kind of roster for the side of Ven, I want to see more rotations on this Cho. Start joining the turtle fight on the other side of the map. It's okay to let Vanix basically farm up, because if you speed run this, like what happened in game number 1, Team Evil may sneak away game number 2.
So we do have a little bit of a babysitting service down in the gold lane, as both teams identify that that is something that they're chasing for. For Team Flash, they're chasing for the fact that Moskov does not die, and such putting the Gatakacha down at the bottom. But for Ven, as long as together with Powerful, they identify that Vanix is someone that can be killed. And with the help of Grok, Ven can potentially do something about this.
But that's also a problem, right? Look at where Powerful is pouncing, because Jay was too busy babysitting Vanix all the way down bot. They've forfeited the mid lane priority, and now Kurt TT has to go all the way back. It is Sayla that has a stronger early game right now. It should be able to pop to level 4 faster as compared to the Feather Airstrike. All of a sudden, early game gameplay is already slightly awkward for the side of Team Flash.
This is what you can expect coming in from a gold lane Cho. Literally right into the face of Vanix and in the face of Moskov. But for now, with the turtle currently now under attack, we've got Evil as well as Flash. They're just going to be looking straight into this as Kutisi opens things up when it comes down to Feather Airstrike with the first blood onto down to Gear. But more than that, we also do have Aether that doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. With one man down for the side of Evil and the turtle going to the side of Evil, it is a little bit of a trade-off that we'll like to see. But now we have the Lantern that picks up Jay, and now Evil with a wild charge from Powerful picks up a kill onto Jay. Ven coming in from the side and looking for more opportunities. As such, goes in, flicker, but it doesn't seem like we will be able to continue on with this.
Yeah, and that was a very critical turtle, right? Team Flash loses the turtle over the side of Team Evil, but they're at least able to punish, picking up 2 members, but now I think they've overheated here.
As Gear now is putting a very good fight against both the Lancelot as well as the Yuzhong.
Oh, Aether, once again, this Peasky boy, picking up another purple buff away from the side of Team Flash. Hades definitely needed that purple buff because they've already lost 1 turtle now, and because of that, Aether is gonna get a better second turtle chance in the next turtle fight.
It is currently at level 6 and Hades is at level 5. We already have a bit of disparity in terms of level. That will definitely bring forward in the next 48 seconds or so.
Yeah. Cortese picking up 2 kills, absolutely wonderful for him. Now you've got a strong mid lane. Feather Airstrike earlier just now was very pivotal in that team fight earlier just now. As Team Evil, I think because of how Sayla has been playing the juice in, it's actually very annoying. Once he goes into Crimson Beacon, the members of the side Team Flash need to try to die for this one.
As now Gear finding himself in a really tough spot. Not much that he can do against a 3-man gank.
Yeah, the Phobius was actually a very interesting choice coming up from Coach B-Toy to be able to deal with Hades, right? Phobius ultimately kind of fell off the meta slightly, but if you look at how Gear was able to play the Phobius earlier just now, even though he lost 2 times, he was able to hold down the fort just a little bit longer, allowing Evil to slowly sneak in the damage against Team Flash.
With the turtle now spawned, enmity towards the side of Powerful. Jay just around the vicinity, taking a little bit of pot shots from the side of Sayla. It's not going to do too much, but at least they're buying a little bit more time, as they have information at the very least, is that Aether is above in levels as compared to Hades.
Aether.
Because this is just what Aether will constantly be doing. They have, of course, a little bit of information as well, that both of the junglers have used their retribution, and unfortunately, because of the fact that Aether is currently at level 8, Hades will lose in the retribution battle, even in the purple buff.
Man, Aether has been sneaking away the purple buff like this. It's actually starting to hurt Hades, right? Hades is now really way behind in terms of the level. The first turtle earlier just now given over to side Team Evil, allowing Aether to basically not an equal retreat battle right there, of course, because Hades is actually 1 level down. And apart from that, you know, I think all eyes definitely going to be Vanix. Vanix is the only one that can potentially pull back the whole game. You can add that Courtesy into that list as well. These 2 damage units on the side of Team Flash will have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders.
And due to the fact that it is double final lanes from the side of Evil, You're constantly going to be having very strong information and, of course, ruling in the river lines. As such, allowing Aether to slip through the gaps and going into the opponent's buff time and time again. I wouldn't necessarily say that Jay is not opening him up the map enough.
Nope.
It's just too much things for Jay to handle.
Yeah, definitely right. Ven could be anywhere on the Cho gold lane, right? And now it's going to be up to Bear. Gold in the Black Dragon form already, trying to open up the map, move on more. And Ven is a lot more active on the map.
Bear is literally going to be in the midst of the battle while he opens up with defense and airstrike. Hades somehow still manages to take a turtle, which is a very big win. Bear now getting a kill down at Ven, pushing the rest of Evil back home.
That's amazing for the side of Team Flash, right? And now it swings back in the favor of Team Flash. A wonky start in the early game, a wonky start for game number 1, and this Flash is making a statement I am not to be trifled with.
Even though Hades is playing from behind, he still manages to find an opportunity.
Yeah.
One of the big things about a Lancelot is that you do have instant burst that can help you deal random damage or sudden damage to a lot right before you use the retribution. That is going to be one of the key components that helps you.
Nice gank around the mid lane right there. Hades actually picking up, helping. Getting an assist is actually the one that's keeping him in the game. And now all of a sudden the mid lane is already gone.
It's now Van down to the bottom lane, almost getting the kill down onto Vanix. And indeed, Powerful will take that bounty.
Death by a wall.
Death by a wall.
Vanix
just down from below.
Literally slammed his face right into that wall, but it's still Team Flash paying a bit of a favor up top, pushing down top side, trading Vanix for that one. Slowing Vanix down is definitely going to be helpful for the side of Team Evil. Taking a look at the items, corrosive side, and going straight into a golden staff right off the bat. But it is Curtizy already online with that glowing one and also the magic penetration boots.
For the 200 gold for both of the gold laners. But in the meantime, we also do have got... Oh, wait, hold on a second. Down in the bottom lane, seems like they are really one Vanix as they smell blood in the water. Jay was hoping he will be able to do something when it comes down to AOG, but was just a tad bit away. We've got a conceal, we've got a Black Dragon form, but they were unable to find and pull off any form of trade.
Yeah, Vanix is just chilling in the kiddie pool right there, and all of a sudden a Megalodon or shark just appears, and that's exactly what Team Evo is, right? Now they're focusing their targets mostly onto Vanix. Slowing Vanix down is exactly the game plan for the side of Team Evo for now.
But they will definitely be trading some shots here and there as Curtizy opens up when it comes down to Defense and Airstrike. They pick up a kill down onto Gear. The rest of the members from Evil, they're still going to be chilling around as they try to look for more and more trades. They're losing out in trades for sure. Evil, they will start to lose out more as now Flash have got 2,000 gold lead on top of Evil and they have regained posture.
Aether is trying to charge up the dashes as quickly as possible, but he's not able to do so. Vanix, yes, down to that, but he's able to join any form of fight. Van is being super annoying for the side of Team Flash right now because Van, as his Cho gold lane, is just opening up the map as well and also finding key targets.
There's gonna be a 2-man tectonic charge, allowed Powerful to get a kill down. However, Hades did manage to get it with a turtle, or rather the lockdown. Powerful will go down in the meantime, but jungle against jungle. Hades takes the first L, while Ven continues to encapsulate the entire moment by getting a kill down on the bear. It's a 1-for-3 trade, while the Lord still goes over the side of Flash, and in fact it's not quite over just yet, as Evil really wanted a T1 turret.
Yes, I don't know who got a very good trade, right? Flash as she needs to sacrifice 3 members from the side of themselves just to be able to take down the Lord, which kind of slows down, kind of deny it. But Team Evil made it a bit of a stalemate, right? Mid lane also cracked open for the side of Team Flash, but Team Flash has the Baby Lord.
The Baby Lord marches in, ready to pillage all of the standing objective that Evil has. All these small little random bounty across the map is going to be some rich red packet over to Flash SG.
Yep. But Team Evil was able to crack open mid, and then after that, go ahead to fix the waves. Now, Team Flash sending this Lord down, I think, is just gonna be like watered down and saying there's nothing you can gain out of this one, especially when you look. Team Evil fixing down bot lane. Ven is also down there as well. Flash need to make a play right here. Conceal play also going. Here comes the Black Dragon form.
I don't know if whether they will actually commit into this. Indeed, they will. It does seem like Aether is gonna be the first one that will be under the chopping block. However, they will try to go for a little bit of a trade onto Bear as he dove in right underneath of the turret.
Ven doing God's work down at the bottom lane right here. Team Evil was actually having a bit of problem right there. At least they were able to pick up Bear up the top, but Ven is the one that led down the siege down bot. He's sneaking all these objectives away from Team Flash.
It's completely tallied out, and I will say that the trade is fair. And for losing a jungler, you take one turret in the bottom and also you take one XP laner out of the equation. It's pretty fair in my honest opinion, with Evil now having a slight tad bit of gold advantage of 600 gold in total economy.
Yeah, but right now, you know, if you asked me earlier just now, but hold on a second, there's going to be a slight pick off right there for the side. Ben, the kick was already, sorry, no kick, there's a knock up onto Hades. But if you asked me earlier just now, Abstract, who actually got the Lord, I would say it looks like Team Evil was the one that got the Lord because Flash did not get anything out of that baby Lord. And in fact, they lost even more. They lost 3 members to get that Lord right there. They lose the bottom lane turret. And then after that, as they're trying to lay down siege up top, Bear got killed as well by the side of Team Evil.
Essentially, it's going to be a tough spot for us to really identify how is it going to be like for both teams. But for sure, Team Flash, they have higher sustenance going into the later stages due to the fact that they have a late game monster, and that is a Moskov. Moskov has got the potential, has got the ability to go for cross-map plays. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, Phoenix has been missing a lot of critical SODs already. And you can see that, yes, there's definitely potential, but Phoenix start joining the fights. Maybe it's time for him to basically not play the side lanes because Ven is more than happy to fix all these lanes. And it's also going to be slightly scary, right? If Ven is definitely going to be building mostly damage. You can just easily cheat Kundo and after that knock out Vanix, and all of a sudden Vanix is in an awkward position. So we're looking at mostly Team Evil versus Team Flash, a 4v4 right here.
Let's take a look
Exactly
down
what I told you.
up in the top lane.
Oh! Critical SOD and miss Abstract.
Ben no longer has the flicker. But in the meantime, the main team fight all the way down to the bottom side, as we do have got Aether and Van taken down. It does feel like Vanix one is his own 1v1. While the rest of the Flash has seen, it's going to be going all the way down south. While Gear continues to fly up to the sky, continuously slamming down his monolith. But it doesn't seem to phase off Team Flash.
Team Flash, that clutch right coming into Kha'Zix picking up a godlike earlier just now. Vanix at 1v1, even after SOD miss, was still able to pick up Ven, and now they can convert this into what? A 4-member down for the side of Team Evil and also potential Lord. This is an enhanced Lord this time around, going in the pockets of Flash SJ.
The idea of Evil going dive and being able to sidestep against Kha'Zix's artillery shots unfortunately has been trumped, as Evil is starting to lose more numbers than they could have counted, as Kha'Zix already have managed to frame up 7 heads on his own plug.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need that Wind of Nature for the side of Vanix, right? The burst potential coming up from Ven is there. Cho is like an assassin that Vanix had to look out for as well. And it's a gold-for-gold trade. It is an equal trade. Team Flash, on the other hand, they also cannot send Hades to start split pushing the map, because potentially, if Ven goes in, assassinates Hades right there, then it's also more worth it. Team Evil will have a stronger objective priority.
Taking Lord is going to be a tad bit difficult, as now Bear soars above the sky as the Black Dragon, while we Kha'Zix all the way at the back. When it comes down to the Feathered Airstrike as well, more or less to be enough to push the rest of Evil away. However, Jay got a little bit tad bit too far in. Not with the AOG though, but he still found himself too deep in, probably because of that.
Twice for the side of Team Flash and trying to push something, right? Push it down the top side turret and maybe hopefully crack open both top and mid at the same time. But Team Flash ultimately got punished. Jay, like what he mentioned, flew too close to the sun. The wings wax got welted off. But at the very least, Team Flash still secures the mid lane turret for now. Look, items check right here. Vanix is slowly going into the Malefic Gun very soon. Wind of Nature, like what I highlighted, is going to be very pivotal for any ways to be able to counter Ven. And now, I'm sorry, the trophy is kind of blocking the item being just a little bit. But if Ven is going to go into what the BOD right there, this is going to be a massive amount of damage. If he plays cards right, and of course, you know, just start playing Bushwhack, Vanix may find it difficult to join in any of these fights.
Oh, this might be a small little catch that might translate into something, or maybe not. It is still a Farsa that does pretty darn good damage, as you can see. With the Glowing Wand, the Witching Lantern, and Divine Glaive, that would tear through even whoever that picks up an Athena's shield, which is what Grok has.
Yep. Well, at the very least, Vanix is actually started picking up these critical items. Genius Wand for the side of Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix's main damage is the one that's making sure Team Evil stay a little bit humble right here. But Ven will be able to say, Hades! You don't walk into the bar like that!
But Hades, it seems like he either number one already knew that. A little bit of toss, only to be punished. But wait, he still stays alive. He lives. Phantom gives chase. And now, Van has been punished with one death over to the Son of Evil. Katizi's down as well. But what's important is that bounty on the side of Katizi that has went to someone. And that is big.
Vanix is trying to make a play out of that one, take the SOD, but he drags, Hades drags the whole members, literally playing with fire right here, have the lighter up, and then literally like what, playing with fire himself, literally, right? It feels like Hades has unlimited CD. It's a little bit unfair. This guy's been piloting this Lancelot like crazy.
It's kind of crazy how Van literally just ran straight in. To be fair though, I do think that if he actually wins that, this will be a very good trade. Yeah, as much as Van is in the gold lane, he is not pause 1. So throwing his life away for a potential pause 2, or in this case position 2 of a jungler, that is massive amount of trade and that's a massive amount of value.
Yeah, definitely Van will show face up on the top side. This is Team Flash will start and go in. He'll be finding Aether for now.
As now the Black Dragon form is still up to the sky, and that is going to be a furious dive just going to be landing on everyone. AOG on the 2, and now everyone's just going to be clumped together. No traces of it just yet. Only Bear taken down. So is Katizi. The rest of the gear is just going to be putting himself right to the face of the enemies. What Katie picks up the killing spree. The rest of Flash SG, they don't have a lot of HP to work with, but they are still going to be doing their absolute best. Hades tries to walk himself away, but he does have got a little bit of thought throws to iframe. Out of all that fight, he gets away with a sliver.
How many times has Hades gone away with sliver of health? It feels like his HP bars refused to go below 1. So many times to attempt this miraculous escape. And yet Vanix finally free hitting and doing up damage against Team Evo. If Team Evo is unable to catch Flash SG like that, bust them down immediately, this is exactly what happens. This is why I still prefer the gold lane marksman.
It's not going to be easy to just immediately assassinate Vanix. It does have got good sustainability when it comes down to a free blink of his own skill. For every shot he takes, it goes down in cooldown as well. It does have the way to pin you too.
How long do you think Hades have to play in order to practice Lancelot like that? Because those maneuvers are crazy.
Those maneuvers are hands down instinct. He has played the game so far, so much in situations like these. He just knows how exactly to do or how exactly to act in some of these situations.
Yeah, Team Evil is literally pouring everything they've got to try to catch on to Hades, but Hades is just like untouchable, right? Literally Michael Jackson all the way, moonwalk, it's just stunning and also doing damage.
As such, remember, even though we are 18 minutes into the game, Team Flash may only have 2,000 gold lead on top of Evil. The main problem and the main change is the fact that we do not have a proper marksman from the side of Evil.
That's right.
Why is that such a big difference? It's because of passive damage. You don't have anyone to just free basic attack anyone and everyone from the side of Team Flash.
Yep.
Once you have expended all of your skills, you have ran out of mana, you have your skills on cooldown, your team is on downtime. While Team Flash, even if they are on downtime, they have a Moskov that will throw spears in your face, irregardless of mana pool.
Crimson Beacon already committed by the side of Sailor. Hades down low just a little bit more. Nice knock up though.
There's now Hades is still gonna be fine for now. Katizi is just gonna be popping himself into the Phantom airstrike. He pushes everyone else away. Powerful doesn't have a lot of HP to work with as such. He will still go down to the hands of Vanix. That's the killing spree credited to him. As now Van finds himself in the top spot, right in the heart of Flash. With 3% down from the side of Evil. Team Flash, they will try to make their way and they're marching over to Evil's base. They look for 1, maybe 2. In fact, they will with Aether down and gear at the same time.
That's it. Evil trying to throw everything against Team Flash in game number 2. And Team Flash say, hey, you can play with fire and I will do so. No, sorry, I can play with clouds literally flying around your base because there's nobody left to defend it.
The celebration for Flash as they took that team fight in stride or in clouds in this case.
Literally flying around there. I mean, there's nobody from the side of Team Evil to protect and defend their base. You can see how many times that Team Evil try to catch onto Hades. He's just slippery. He's like a fish. jumping out of your hands when you're lathered in soap.
That's kind of worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I mean, not that I know how it feels like, but it sounds very slippery.
Seems like you haven't been cooking before.
I did, but not really, fish right out of water kind of situation.
Yeah, definitely, right? And ultimately, Team Evil flopped right there, right? Like, in game number 1, they've got a critical mass as well, starting from game number 1. Game number 2, unfortunately, once Hades picked up his Lancelot, he played Lancelot like he is literally the Lancelot himself. He's not controlling it by a joystick.
Unfortunately, I think that you can tell a little bit of that disparity between both the users of Lancelot, right? One that plays very individualistic, such as Hades, and one that really plays for the team and try to look for opportunities and, of course, play as a team and use and lean onto the team. That doesn't mean anything bad, but it just shows the different kinds of ways that you can play the Lancelot, either completely individualistic or the other way.
Yeah, MVP, you definitely have to give it to Hades right there, because that is just crazy gameplays on that. There's so many times when you thought Hades would be dead, right? But he just disappeared into thin air and reappeared. He's literally playing like his Yellow Flash himself.
Oh man. It's kind of difficult to be able to just say that, this is a stomp. This actually isn't. 18 minutes game. We've got a couple of back and forth. In fact, I think that for the side of Team Evil, they did a really good job keeping Hades in check. To the point that we saw a good 2-level gap. And yet, and I think that this is the reason why Hades really deserved his MVP, is that he managed to still climb back out. He still managed to win in the turtle fight despite having that 1-level disparity, and that retribution changes, or that retribution damage really changes things.
Yeah, and once Hades identified he's not able to win in this objective fights, he started targeting down heroes, right? He started taking down, start ganking the mid, helping TZ pick up the kills, and then after start ganking top side, making sure that Bear also has a good game as well on the Zicho. Starts going down all the way down bot as well to kind of work it out, because man, Hades is just insane on this Lancelot. It's not over until it's over.
It truly isn't, right? In the previous game, it definitely seemed like the situation is extremely dire, but this game, the team Flash Singapore, they identify that and they know that, look, we are already so deep into the game, there is a point in playing, especially since we have a Moskov.
Yeah, and the Moskov is just the icing on the cake. Once Lord Banning start picking up the damage items as well and start just hurling spears. Don't forget, this is the Moskov, right? This is a Moskov that has AoE damage. If the Master of the members on the side, Team Evil, are able to catch onto the Vanix as well, Vanix actually trying really hard. This is a good show game for the side of Ven, but they needed more. Ven is actually starting to rotate earlier just now to try to limit Team Flash. In fact, Team Flash was kind of limited in the early game. Gil, on the other hand, also did quite a decent job as well, but it's a little bit too much because Hades is just flying everywhere. Vanix, on the other hand, has farmed up. Kurt TZ having a wonderful game on this Farsa, and the rest is history because Team Flash just literally won another game. But like what you mentioned, it is not as convincing as compared to how game number 1, how Team Evil within 10 minutes and 18 seconds wipe out Team Flash just immediately.
One thing for sure is that Cho Gold is something that we don't see very often, and in fact, this is a relatively new thing. So let's highlight that a little bit here and take a look at what he has gotten for himself and, well, supporting for the team with the Blade of Despair in his name. Not Blade of Heptases, Blade of Despair, together with the War Axe. The War Axe is actually the first item that Van built.
Yep.
So let's remember that, right? We also have the Brute Force Breastplate and the Endless Battle.
I just don't know what to do. I don't think it's about the items anymore. I think it's really about how Team Flash maneuver around it. You can see how Team Evil tried to lock down Hades, right? They're so powerful, has a tectonic charge and also the slam as well. Van also has the kick. Gil, on the other hand, also have a way to basically knock people up and stun people up. But Hades is just having a free reign. I feel like, unfortunately, I would say you need to really... Team Evil struggling to lock down Hades at all. Heck, even a Eudora stun or even a Cyclops lockdown
Shut up.
is required to lock Hades down and basically beat him down right there. And I would say it's not 100% chance for you because of how good he has been playing this Lancelot.
And the iframes, let's not forget about that.
Exactly.
Right? The main thing is gotta be the iframe. Now, all in all, when it comes down to statistics, I think that numbers always tells a very different or similar kind of story, right? Van, even though he's kind of building damage, right? You would expect that he might not receive that much damage, but no, he does. With 119,000 damage taken, solely also because of the fact that he does have got ways of sustenance, right? He does have that War Axe that can give him Spell Vamp. Let's not forget about that. Now, in the meantime, I think that the main thing that Evil is having a real problem about is sliding through the gaps and, you know, playing in team fights. I'm not too sure if whether they are trying to avoid some of these pot shots from Curtizi or not, because it feels like some of them, they're just taking it, right? They're just eating that shot. And that's why Curtizi got like 70 kills.
Yeah, and Curtizi, you know, in the early game was just phenomenal, right? Like his Feather Airstrike, like what I mentioned, this is a very scary roster if you are playing this Farsa, right? You have to look out for the Joy that could literally run you down. The Dressing Crimson Beacon, you can just ignore the Feather Airstrike and then just work on just hard ganking it and pick up the pick up the Farsa immediately. There's also a Phobius that could just land down damage from the top, and also the Choke, the homing missile. If he identifies onto Curtizi, it is over. But it is just, I would say, Team Flash using Hades, creating a lot of pressure, creating a lot of things. I would say, unfortunately, I have to say this out loud. It feels like this game, it is the Deadly Duos game. It is Curtizi and Hades game right there, balancing out the damage and also just distracting Team Evil from executing their evil plan.
As much as possible, and as much as I thought that, you know, this dive composition from Evil could help them win against a uncontested Farsa, because they have got no answer. Aside from sending Grog literally just flickering over and having the tectonic charge, that's one way, but I don't imagine them putting that much priority just because of a Feathered Airstrike.
Yeah, but like I would also say it's just also there's not a lot of damage that you can see from the side of Team Evil, right? Like this is the problem when towards the later part of the game when Vanek started to pick up his necessary items, when he started picking up the 3 items, attack speed items, he's just gonna output quite a decent chunk of damage. If the fight goes even further, even longer, within like 3 seconds, it is over. So which means that it's about Team Evil unable to land down the CCs and also blow up key targets. Yes, it is mostly Jay that got blown up instead, but Jay is just a roamer, right? He's more than happy to absorb all these CCs and damage coming out from the side of Team Evil.
And with it all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps up match 2, or rather game number 2 of this grand final series between Team Evil and Team Flash Singapore. We're currently at 1:1, and this is a total of a best of 7 game. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys don't go anywhere, especially if you are at home. We will be back with you real soon. And for all my fellow peeps and everyone that's watching from the center point, you guys stay tuned, because the word,
I'm waiting for you to say that word,
is about to happen in the next 3-4 games, possibly within there. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12th to October 19th, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semi-finals.
The semi-finals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualification for the first MCGG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching.
To Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back over to the continuation of MPL SG Season 10 Grand Finals.
Yeah, the score is currently 1-1. We're back into square one just a little bit more. You know, it is Team Evo that took game number 1 in like, 10 minutes? And then after that, it is Team Flash snapping back at around, 19 minutes-ish. And now we're going to go into game number 3. Team Evo, I think they really need to start respecting the Lancelot coming out from the side of Team Flash.
Honestly, I kind of think that the Lancelot might be a very hard commodity, right? Yep. Aether loves the Lancelot, and it's actually also the pick that allowed them to win against KE. Almost to a certain point that it might actually be their lucky charm, not unless it's been used to strike back at them.
Yeah, and you really cannot fault with the side of Team Evo, right? The Phobius from the side Gear was doing everything, absorbing so much pressure from the Moskov, and also to a certain extent from the Yuzhong as well. But when it comes into the later part of the game, where Ven wasn't able to find Cortese or lock down Vanix, then it's over, right? But do you even send, I think even earlier just now during the decision making, do you even send Ven to lock down Hades at all? Because like Hades is just so slippery, he just dashes away even before you could land anything onto him.
Yeah, I think that it is very difficult.
It is.
As a Cho, to do anything to a Lancelot. It is possible, yes, but timing is gotta have to be impeccable. And it's very difficult to time against Lancelot because of external factors. Not only do you have to time it based on, when he uses skill, oh, he's gonna be off cooldown when it comes down to Thorn Rolls. Is skilled Lancelot will be able to stagger these skills so that there is minimal amount of cooldown between the Thorn Rose and the Phantom Execution.
Yeah, like the puncture for the side of Hades was literally free.
Yeah.
It's like that skill was literally online every time, and all of a sudden, hey, there's a Thorn Rose again, and then after that, boom, there's a Phantom Execution, puncture, Phantom Execution. It feels like he's been, you know those rhythm games that you play? Literally, he's just literally playing rhythm games using MLBB earlier just now on that Lancelot.
To be fair, Joy is actually a rhythm game.
Ha. Okay, yeah, true. You don't really, it doesn't follow the beat, by the way. Oh, you wouldn't be able to tell.
I don't play with the sounds on.
Anyways, gonna go into game number 3, ladies and gents. It is Flash SG respecting onto banning away the Yushin and the CC and also the Juicing. I think your first pick, the Lancelot, if you're a Team Flash here, seems like Team Evil unable to do anything about that pick. But nope, they're gonna snatch that rock away from the side of Team Flash, leaving Aether to go for the Lancelot duty, and Kimi selected for the side of Team Evil.
Now, take a look at this. So far, we have been expecting, and of course, to see that Lancelot going to the hands of Evil. So,
yep.
Okay, so at least it's not in the hands of Hades, I'll say.
The Hayabusa, unfortunately, was already removed by the side of Team Evil. Hayabusa works really well against, you know, the squishies, especially the likes of the Kimi, right? You could just go in for the shadow kill. I think Team Flash, I don't think Fanny is also a good idea, in my opinion, because you've got the Grok that will be able to build the walls like that, and then after that just block you from actually just flying around. Now, Team Flash picks up the Yuzhong once again for Bear and also Eve for Kurt Teasy. Eve is starting to rise up in the popularity because of the her ability to catch people and also burn people down, especially when you are super tanky.
Team Flash currently do have a pretty good front line. And of course, Yuzhong with that zoning potential that they can generally be able to do. This is also going to be discouragement for any form of channeling, I would say. But it looks like Evil, they're going to be looking out for the Lapu Lapu pick.
Yep.
Kind of tit for a tat between that fighters.
Yep, Gear will be on the Lapu Lapu duty this time around. It's going to hack and slash. It's going to work really well, especially when you're going up against an Eve, right? Because you do have a lot of gap closer. Every time when you slash, you also move forward just a little bit. Your Grimace Warrior mode allows you to basically have some form of CC immunity and also damage reduction. So that's A-okay for the Lapu Lapu to be able to reach the Eve, especially when the real world manipulation gets activated. Now, Team Evil takes away the Fanny. That's what I was mentioning earlier just now. But there's also a potential Guinevere if Team Flash want to go for that one. Technically speaking, you've got a Yuzhong that can also do quite a decent chunk of damage through Sha residue. And all you have to do is just hold them tight right there and knock them up. Team Evil takes away the fragile. Now they're focusing mostly on Hades' hero for now.
So, as you mentioned, it does seem like Guinevere might be that thing. Kalia is actually leaked out at this point. As much as I want to see the Kalia plus Guinevere combo, which is something that Team Flash really likes to go for, which is probably the only reason why I think that they might not go towards that direction, because they don't have a Kalia, so doesn't really quite justify getting the Guinevere here in here. We might see that in the later stages of the game, or rather in the later stages of the series, but in this case, I think that there are some other possibilities, such as a Joy being played out by Hades.
Joy is actually really wonderful for the side of Team Flash, right? Like, if you trap everybody inside the box, there's so much AoE. But speaking about AoE, Team Evil, this is a roster that works really well against Eve, and especially when Chusin's already taken away by the side of Team Flash. This is a lot more. You need to find a way to deny Harif all that real estate. Esmeralda, though, is still open, but I don't think Team Flash is looking at that particular pick.
The only denial that they have is the Eve. They have one shot for area effect crowd control.
Ruby could be a very potential good pick from the side of Team Flash this time around, right? I'm offended, and also the stun to prevent the Zaman, prevent the Harry from just bouncing around with the Zaman force. You sustain, you pull everybody back into the real world of manipulation, or into the wall, as well as Kirkisi just burns everybody alive. And this is a very scary drop if that goes on A, but hold on, it's going to be Akai. coming in for the side of Team Flash, my prediction goes a little bit wide. It's N, but there is still some form of AoE, right? The Blazing Duet into the real world manipulation, and Akai can technically shove people all the way to the edge of the wall or stun people there. That's actually a interesting way of doing it. Now, Akai is a very good answer over the side of Harif. You push Harif out of Zaman Force, and all of a sudden you find the Harif unable to output enough damage.
Do we have an X factor when it comes down to a roamer? Is this more of an engagement style kind of thing from the side of Team Flash? They do have counter engage. Well, in the meantime, engagement mostly comes in from Grok. And if they want to layer anything, it's actually kind of difficult. So, honestly, Minotaur kind of sounds good, decent here.
Powerful going for the Hilda this time around. Hilda usually goes for, you know, the hard invade into enemy jungle, especially when you have an assassin jungler on the other side. But Team Flash went for the Akai, so Akai should be really, really safe in his own jungle, unless, you know, Team Evil goes in for the counter jungle. But do you even counter jungle against an Akai? Akai doesn't really require a lot of farm, just needs to hit level 4, and he's already online with a heavy spin as well, and also start, you know, shoving everybody out. So don't forget, there's also a lot of potential synergy in terms of the hero picks coming off from the side of Team Flash, right? I already mentioned about a heavy spin into this real world manipulation edge. You also have the wall from the side of Grok as well. So yeah, there's so many ways for Flash to maneuver this around, and it can also act as a disengagement tool against Team Evil.
And such, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The draft for game number 3 here in the Land of Dawn with Dangerous Grass. Team Evil currently with 1 win to their name, and Flash Singapore similar to that. We are going into game number 3. 1-1. Who's going to be the one that will be able to get 2 games to their name?
Now, Abstract, even ever since Team Evil pulled that maneuver earlier just now, I'm actually paying attention more to the minimap whenever we load into the game.
No.
Don't worry, Evil is playing a standard map for now, right? Because you really don't want to counter jungle at level 1 against Akai. Akai at level 1 actually does quite a decent amount of damage, right? Because his damage is HP base, does a decent amount of wave clear, concussive blast, also pops a lot of damage as well. Now, this is Dangerous Grass on the side. Dangerous Grass in this map, right? Hilda is gonna get a lot more movement, a lot more healings done as he runs around the grasses like that.
And once again, it's kind of interesting how both teams were looking at a little bit of a babysitting service in the side lanes. And I totally understand that they needed some influence over to the side lanes. But the main thing is we need some tagging, right? The roamers gotta have to tag someone, especially for Team Flash. As a Grok, you do have CC immunity, and you're not particularly too afraid of a lot of things. And you gotta have to tag onto and constantly give information on someone from the side of Evil.
Okay, Team Flash, on the other hand, you know, we talk about tagging. Jay should be able to tag onto Team Evil, but you're looking at a Dangerous Grass. And these grass are definitely going to be really scary to open. So it's really wise coming out from Coach Bitoy, right? Using Powerful as Hilda to really open up each grass. And when you go into grass, you gain bonus shields and also heals, allows you to survive just a little bit longer. But of course, Jay can easily play Bushwhack in this map.
But aside of that, I'm looking for early game damage, right? Between the roaming trios.
Yeah.
And I think the Flash, at least they do have a Grok.
Yeah, but if you look at Team Flash's roster, right, it's a lot more pressure for the side of Bear to really output the damage. He's going to be the main damage dealer, especially in early part.
And it doesn't seem like Gear will be able to get away from this. And the Furious Dive is going to be the one to take Gear out of his misery.
Yeah, man, like, you don't want to feed Bear food, right? You go to the zoo, you don't feed the bear anything, because once you start feeding the bear, you're going to get a very scary monster going into the later part of the game. This Yuzhong is going to snowball out of control if you continue to do this.
But regardless of all that, if you look at the game in a more macro point of view, Evil still have got some of that lane control as well as that economical advantage. Something is still working well for Evil. And I would like to assume it's mostly onto the northern part of the map.
Yeah, Harif in the early game should be able to triumph against Claude. Claude needs a lot more time as compared to Harif. Once Harif pops level 4, you could just start Ego Challenge against Vanix, right? Vanix, on the other hand, oh, hold on a second.
Here might be able to see his second death this time as Hades focus fired onto Gear with that heavy spin. In the meantime, Vanix finds himself at a low amount of HP. There's a good flicker right into Jay. Or rather, Aether finds himself in the tough spot. There's the RWM that will be popped. Aether wasn't able to get himself away with a Phantom Execution. The only thing left is that Thorned Rose. It will pop to the hands of Curtizi.
Aether tried to cosplay Hades right there earlier just now, get caught by the wall by Curtizi. That was a very beautiful BMR into a flicker for the side of Vanix to stay alive right there. And this is the clutch factor that we know and love for the side of Vanix, right? Even though you got 3 members ganking him all the way up top, as long as he's able to stay alive, no, you watch other gold laners in MPL Singapore, they don't really have that clutch factor except for Vanix.
Here's the different things, right? Especially if you're talking about Claude. Claude, yes, is gonna have some difficulty farming in the gold lane, but that is actually a very difficult thing to lose in the lane and die. Because of BMI, you do have a lot of ways, or rather, you can actually run really far away from the first turret. So if anyone were to even proxy right behind you, you can run away, and there's no very long backswings as well. The moment you swap, and you can start running.
Like Dragon Form. You can see Aether struggling to go into the Phantom Execution across the wall. But once again, Flash SG takes away the second turtle over the side of Team Evil. Team Evil, there's no answer.
There, jumps in on from behind, and Hades locks onto 2! Powerful have no choice but to flicker right out of dodge, and they are hoping that they will be able to return the favor over to Jay. But it doesn't seem like that would be the case, as now they have left Jay and Hades back home.
I never felt that the Akai was able to fly like that, right? It feels like his timing on the heavy spin and also his dashes to find these flanks are just impeccable, right? Now, Team Evil losing 4 members over the side of Team Flash already. There's no kills that they're able to achieve so far. Aether, even though he got one of the S+++ tier jungler in this particular patch, is unable to do much. Because Team Flash, you know, from the get-go, Bear's already picking up 2 kills, Curtizi also picking up 2 kills already, and even though Aether tried to just juke around that, he's not able to do so, and Ven just going with Summon Force for fun.
Oh no, it doesn't seem like he will be able to get up because he don't have Purify. Vanix just baited Ven into overcommitting into that fight.
Yeah, and Hades, once again, heavy spin at the right place and the right time. It feels like, you know, he's playing the Panda like he's on wheels, he's on rollerblade, he's everywhere. He's at the right place at the right time, and then after that, landing on a heavy spin. Once again, you've already fed Bear all the way down bot. But however, Team Evil, Gil was able to take down bot on the main turret. Now, Team Flash is going to focus up top instead.
And now Zela flies up to the sky, but he does have the Purify to get himself right out of dodge. They focus some of these powers onto Powerful, but all the less, Flash lost nothing, while Evil, they lost a single Purify off of Zela.
Yeah, and not only just that, right? Zela tried to jump over the wall instead back to safety, whereas Powerful decides to go for the engage. A little bit of miscommunication from the side of Team Evil for now.
To be fair, they needed to break the distance.
Yeah, they do kind of need to break the distance, but I think, you know, Powerful, I feel like he's trying to push Team Flash away, but there's 3 members there. If Team Flash has a bit of a power trip or ego trip, I think they can easily take down Powerful right there on this Hilda.
As such, Gear is ready in Ultimate Warrior, the bravest one of all. Powerful doesn't have a lot of HP to work with, but there is going to be a stun from the side of Gear. CC immunity outside of the RWM. Aether picks up the turtle. Powerful is nowhere to be seen as he will not be able to join into the fight. As such, Jay picks up the kill on the Aether, where the fight continues to snowball in favor for the side of Team Flash. Jay now picks up a double onto Ven. The Roamer is now the one that takes kills, while Vanix slays Gear down.
Man, Vanix right there goes into the blazing duet in the real moment manipulation. Curtizi providing cover with fire for so much. You can see the amount of control, map control that Flash SG was able to secure for himself. Kudos where kudos is done, right? Aether still able to retreat that turtle earlier just now was wonderful, even though he's in the face of danger on that heavy spin. But it is still damage done against Team Evil because they're starting to lose ground. Mid lane, the top lane already cracked open.
With 2 of the outer turrets that have been destroyed. This is great news for Flash.
Yep.
They now have got free access and a lot easier accessibility to go into Evil's top jungle and threaten that orange buff.
Already taking down bot lane for the side of Vanix as well. Team Evil losing all their first tier turrets. The rotations are a little out of whack. They're unable to find anything as oh no heck. They can't even find any kills against Team Flash as well. Playing a perfect game so far.
Aether now finding himself right in the face of Jay and Hades. But the purple buff, it did not go into the hands of Aether. It's been stolen by the hands of Hades as he now cheekily walks away with that thick body of his.
And yeah, Thorn Rose doesn't really do any much damage against Hades as well because Hades is an archive jungle tank. Now, all of a sudden, Team Evil is starting to lose a lot of resources around the map. You can see items being built by the side of Sailor, the Glowing One, and also the Sky Piercer already built. But it feels like Team Evil is lacking that that finishing blow, that initial burst. The initial burst actually relies on Ben, but Ben finally secured the Feather of Heavens right here, but he's already 3 deaths already, so he's not really online. You're looking at Powerful. Hopefully, he's able to output certain amount of damage because on the Hilda, you do a lot of damage, but they're unable to find any form of stun, any form of push because the Flash actually is so far ahead.
Yeah, so this is my problem, right? When you're drafting a Hilda, but you're unable to input any form of pressure over to the opposite side in the early stages. The early stages for Hilda, that is literally your power spike, even though you don't have any items. Just as you hit level 4, that's where you can instantaneously kill someone that have at least half HP.
Their petrified traits for Van's Purify right now means that Jake could land a tectonic charge perfectly and Van couldn't do anything much if he plays his cards wrong.
Gear now is going to be opening some space out. Jay's HP doesn't seem to be very healthy, but the Black Dragon form soars above the sky. Jay tried to look for an opportunity, but it does seem like he used his flicker, did not land a good wild charge, or rather tectonic charge. Hades opens up when it comes down to heavy speed, and the rest of the map is coming from the side of Evil, just going to be flowing themselves right onto Fleeing Flash. They do have got a Zaman Force used down, and they will be zoning away from all of that, allowing Gear to pick up 2 kills, and they have now the priority over the Lord.
Finally, 10 minutes in, ladies and gents, Team Evil picked the first 3 kills. 2 Creditor over the side of Gear, 1 over the side of Powerful, and they take the Lord as well. And now Team Evil will have a bit of momentum going into their favor for now.
With the middle lane, T1 finally being destroyed by the hands of Evil. They're now trying to balance out the playing field in order to really just go in and then go out of the jungles as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
They want to kind of go for an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, purple buff for a purple buff.
Yeah, there's so much standing go for the side of Team Evil, right? This Lord is definitely going to swing the gold lead back into the favors of Team Evil. Here was Angie once again. He was going in and smash, and now as Team Flash was trying to just retreat from the oldies choke points, Gear just soaking up, just dishing out all this damage, just life absorbing all the way back. They don't really need vent because, you know, Team Evil somehow found a very good opening because Jay committed to that tectonic charge flicker, misses quite a few people, and Flash SG ultimately got punished for that.
I really do want to find out if whether Team Flash really do have got the damage as well as the resilience to be able to last throughout the entire team fight and still be able to bring down passive damage over the side of Evil.
Yep.
Because you're going up against Ven, you're going up against Aether, Sailor. In fact, there's so many things that is available into the mix of Evil that can deal in number to the members of Team Flash.
Yep, all of a sudden Team Evil was the one that has the 2k goalie in the favor, right? Here with that two kills already starting to come online, the Fury Hammer and the War Axe coming in very clutch right there, the Oracle as well. And now you also got Sailor, you know, with the Sky Piercer stacks, unfortunately not being able to build up, but does have the Divine Glaive already. So Flash SG is going to be mincemeat if they stay in the Kimmy damage over and over again. But also another person from the side from Team Evil is that Powerful securing the blade armor just right there. Phoenix was trying to output some damage over the Powerful, but as long as Powerful fights inside these bushes, especially when we're in dangerous grass, Phoenix might as well just be watering the sea by then.
Right now, Kimmy, being the alternative win con, also do have the Sky Piercer for himself. It is a situation where it goes either to Sailor or it goes over to Van as the win condition. How are they going to be finishing off Team Flash? As long as Sailor is able to pop off really early, or rather starts to pick up kills after kills, That's the win condition that will be tilted over to the side of Sailor, and that is crazy amount of damage to really make full use of the bruises of this team.
Yeah.
But for Team Flash, they have to gun at the fact that the Blazing Duet works well in a full team fight setting.
That's right.
Or, very late stages into the game, a Claude can deal optimal damage just by standing still.
Yeah, and that's why Vanix actually went for the Winter Crown as well. They need some form of survivability, but hold on a second, continue play Jay, looking for a target, Phantom Execution. Aether doesn't want to be the main target right there, has to bugger out of there.
The Lord spawns at the northwest side of the map, with Evil not having too much control down in the bottom side, but it's okay, because the main thing is they're looking for neutral objective. Information is not quite given just yet, but Powerful is literally right in the face of Hades with the traction power that will now land. The Black Dragon form appears. Hades doesn't have a lot of HP to work with as he dances away, hoping that he will stay alive. Aether now takes up the Lord. Aether will want to run away with a sliver of health. And Aether, he will do what he can to keep himself alive and to fight back at Flash SG.
They're oversending a little bit right there, hopefully trying to make a play out there. Team Evil, on the other hand, they punish back, they bite back. They do have the goal lead in their favor. Team Evil acknowledged and found that Vanix is on the other side of the map because he's trying to slow push down bot and try hopefully use that time to join the fight around the Lord Pit. Flash SG botched that timing right there, and now they have to defend against this Lord.
With the Lord that will be marching in from the middle lane, preparing to pillage whatever that Flash SG holds dear, especially in their own homes. That 3 inhibitor turret will be standing in the way of the Lord's push into the core and the crystal. What will possibly stop them? Well, that is going to be the entire lineup from Team Flash as they literally collapses themselves right onto the Lord, got with them with no questions asked.
Chip damage already done for the side of Team Evil. Mid lane looks really shaky as well. You can see, Flash SG literally pouring every single body, every single department to basically defend those minions as well. Team Evil unable to sync it up because Flash SG, technically speaking, fixed the wave down bot as well, and then after that move on. Team Evil, on the other hand, needs to look something else, but they do have 4K gold lead in their pockets. Van should have the necessary items required, but Vanix, that's a magnific gun already. He is online. I'm sorry, I take that back.
But I will say that Powerful is pretty...
Yeah, magnific gun does that to you. Just
painful.
letting you know.
Painful.
Yep.
Yeah, just auto attacks at this point. Vanix can do quite a number. And this actually is information for Powerful. Just by standing there and receiving some damage from Vanix. It is not like... this is not BM of any source. This is literally Powerful to just be like, okay, this is the amount of time it takes for him to deal this amount of damage to me. So... when it comes down to dealing with the others, especially for Lapu Lapu, they can have a very generic idea how long can Gear stay in a team fight.
If you notice, this is a very low kill score from the side of Team Evil, right? Powerful actually zones the whole team for the side of Team Flash. The shoulders that Powerful has is definitely going to be super wide right there because there's a lot of responsibility for him. He is the one that zoned out the rest of Team Flash and allowing Team Evil to basically sneak all of these objectives away. Team Flash, because of Powerful, they need to deal with Powerful. Now Vanix has already built that item that I was talking about, the magnific gun right here. Should be able to chip away onto Powerful. If you notice, Powerful did not build out.
Wait, hold on a second! Katizi was so close to death, but in the end of the day, he was still going after the hands of Powerful! And now, the fight erupts with Evil literally in the face of Hades! He's not gonna go down anytime soon just yet, but now Gear is just gonna be diving himself right into the face of Bear! Takes it down! Jay doesn't have a lot to work with! He builds up the barrier, erecting right off the ground, and forcing Evil to stop that fight!
Yeah, Jay built up, but hold on a second, that's a bit awkward for him to come
down. Blazing Duet! With Vanix! The takes Vanix down! It's 2 for 2 at this point in time.
Yeah, now you see me, now you don't. Vanix made a play of his life right there. It would have been impending doom if Team Flash wasn't able to make a play right there. But that Blazing Duet save and hold down the fort for the side Flash SG Team Evil. They took some losses right there.
Back to the neutral game. The Lord is currently still available. Sailor takes NBT of the Lord. Hades, Vanix, as well as
Powerful
Jay.
though.
They're posturing themselves up for this upcoming Lord. They don't have information on Powerful just yet. Now Powerful just gonna be diving himself all the way to the back. While Blazing Duet coming from back, he will deal damage enough to the Lord. And now the fight will break out in the open. Ethan takes a kill down on the Katizi. The rest of Evil, they are now just gonna be posturing their way through. Almost catching up onto Phoenix as he will be able to BMI himself out of the way. The puncture and also the Phantom execution.
Man, Evo botched that Lord fight earlier just now. Flash SG, you sending Vanix with the Blazing Duet over there to basically wave clear and also stake away the Lord right here. But Team Evo, they're not done yet. They should be able to blitz this right now. They do not push.
The Phantom execution that's going to be putting himself down so close to Phoenix. As such, Evil will tally out the score line by claiming the second game of the series.
A back and forth, a seesaw once again. A interesting grand finals for the side MPL Singapore because Team Flash they were so strong in the early game, but then once the later parts of the game when they start to make some missteps right here, missing that tectonic charge right there, that's when they start to downfall just a little bit more. Even though Team Evo botched that Lord fight, sneaking that Lord, losing that Lord earlier just now, almost costed them. And Team Evo, I love that decision making right there, right? It's okay even if we didn't take that Lord, we just bomb rush it down. It's just Vanix. What can Vanix do? He's already uses Blazing Duet already.
There's really not much that he could do at that point in time. It is a full lineup from the side of Evil, and none of them suffered any consequences in that fight. That dive from Powerful more or less set such a huge threat.
Yeah.
I think to Curtizi and no, to Vanix, it forced the BMI and it forced that Blazing Duet. And that also means that there is really not much thing that the Claude could do. Because he already BMI'd in,
yes,
that's the only thing that he could do. He needs to go Blazing Duet and make full use of the fact that he's already too deep into the fight.
Yeah, and Bear was actually thinking that, hey, he just needs to try to buy some time and pull the rest of the members from the side of Team Evil away to basically try to delay the fight just a little bit more. Hopefully that's a good timing for him. But he instantly got popped. He's instantly getting melted because of so much burst damage from the side of Team Evil already. And don't forget, it is a kill score that's leaning in the favor of Team Flash. And Team Evil literally won by sheer macro, sheer farm, and sheer positioning and how to maneuver around the map earlier just now.
Now, I'm not too sure if whether this is just a theory craft. I don't know I don't know what is in the mind of Powerful. But the fact that he only have I think one kill in this entire game,
doesn't really matter.
He hardly used his damage, or rather hardly used his skill and ultimate. And I think that is more, it is not about cowardice, it's not about the fact that he don't have an opportunity. I think that's conditioning.
Yeah, I mean, if you are a gold laner, you're conditioned to run away from the Hilda, right? If you're running away, you're not doing damage. The one that's doing damage, though, is the MVP of the game, Sayla, just letting down fire from afar, just melting down anybody that literally threatens. The Akai coming in immediately gets melted down. And also, there's so many choke points, especially when you have dangerous grass going in. It empowers the Hilda to really go forth, stepping forward, and then after that, just zoning 5 members, just one Powerful. Come on, it's just one Powerful.
It's just one Powerful. But I think that Team Flash, they definitely have played enough games to know, okay, a Hilda can deal a certain amount of damage to me. But the fact that the entire game you don't receive that much damage from Hilda, I think that at one point in time you would be surprised no matter what. Because of the conditioning that Powerful have never applied onto the members of Team Flash. Look, out of a total of 11 kills for the team, he's participated in 7, and I don't know how many of those were actual hits from him or him initiating with those raw damage output.
Yeah, I think it's also, Flash SG, they had a solid early game earlier just now. 2 turtles going into the favor, they are able to sneak up 1 Lord, but Team Evil, they persevere. Once Gale also pick up necessary items, Ren also becoming a mad monster, be able to burst down members even inside the real world manipulation. Powerful, just literally running it down, zoning Vanix and the rest of the members from the side of Team Flash. Now, Hades was able to output a lot of damage game number 2 earlier just now, but this time around he's nothing but an Akai. He's nothing but a But a Panda, right? Bear, on the other hand, he's supposed to be able to just kind of front down and also help to lock in onto Van, onto Sailor by having the Black Dragon forward and Furious dive. But it doesn't really matter because towards the later parts of the game, you have the Glowing One to basically fight through it. You also have the Blood Wings that Sailor has already completed for himself. And even with the Radiant Armor, it's unfortunately not good enough because Team Evil just starts slashing, especially on gear.
This is one heck of a performance, I gotta have to say. When it comes down to itemization, this is also a situation that we can definitely see all the way from the front to the end. Information when it comes down to damage taken, here it is. I always want and I always like to see what the XP laners are going through. We've got 94,000 damage taken from here and 103 damage taken from Big Bear. But remember how I was talking about the conditioning thing from the side of Powerful? He's done a total of 31,000 damage. And if we were to kind of put that into consideration to Fan and Aether, it seems like it's not exactly that case, right? It doesn't seem like he didn't do damage at all, but he did do damage. But I think it's all about the sudden burst of damage in the final fight that seemed to be forgotten.
Yeah, and look at the damage taken from the side of Powerful, right? 161k damage taken. That's mostly done by Banix. Banix is actually just trying to push Powerful all the way back, but there's so many bushes that he's immediately getting shields, immediately healing everything back up. And all of a sudden, Banix needs to disengage. Curtizi, on the other hand, because once he goes into real world manipulation, he's left there. In the early game, it works wonders, right? You can literally just melt people down and also just zone. But there's also the iframes from the side of Aether. Gear, towards the later part of the game, is able to face tank Curtizi on this Eve, and Lapu Lapu with the damage reduction, just hack and slash. Eve is nothing all of a sudden.
There's a lot that we will, of course, talk about when it comes down to this game. And ultimately, I think that there's a lot more about the execution than it is about the drop. The drop definitely told us a very good story.
Yep.
But there's another thing that tells us a story about, is that Lancelot is one heck of a lucky charm for teams. And I don't know if at any point in time, any of these teams are gonna go for the back.
Yeah, and you know, on that Lancelot, right, it's just Aether, even though he doesn't really need to perform much, right, because the rest of the team, you've got Powerful to literally zone, and on top of that, if just in case the Powerful falters, you still have the Lapu Lapu and the Bravest Warrior to basically just front most of the aggression coming off of Team Flash. All of a sudden, Team Flash, yes, they've got a Vanix that could just bypass everything, but he needs to bypass everything. So many conditions for the side of Team Flash for this to work out. Towards the later part of the game, Akai gets melted because of Sailor's DPS, and the rest is history. It's really hard, I would say, from the side of Team Flash to basically do anything, whereas Team Evo just zones out Team Flash easily. It's just one Powerful, man.
I mean, remember how at the start, close to the start of the game, my question was if whether their sustainability would really get them the win.
Yep.
This is not a lineup that has massive amount of damage output. And remember, we even talked about the fact that Kimi is also a secondary win condition coming in for the side of Team Evil, picking up that Sky Piercer. And Sky Piercer does do quite a bit of wonders. And that was, I think, 20 stack by the end of the game for Sailor. It's not much. He is still MVP, and he still did a number to the opponents.
Yep.
And I gotta have to say, for the side of Team Flash, the only one of the main damage dealers that we are looking for is Claude. One big ultimate from Claude, that's all. Grok comes in with a wall charge, and I think that in the early stages of the game, yes, that's the damage.
Yep.
But late game, that is just slight little bonus that we don't consider too much about.
Yeah, the tectonic charge from the side of this Grok is actually...
say tectonic charge from now on.
Yeah, it is a bit one of those sneaky patches, right? Okay, for the side of tectonic charge, right, like, it actually works really well. It counters what Van wants to do as his Harif. Once the Zaman Falls get laying down, you just send that tectonic charge, you knock people up, and then after that, you know, Van will be in an awkward position. But Vanix is actually picking up a lot of damage, he's wrecking out a lot of damage, but if the members from the side of Flash SG constantly getting zoned away by this Hilda and also zoned away by Gear, it is also very hard for them to pour in the damage. There's a little bit of a disconnect for the side of Team Flash. It works well in the early game when they are really in sync in the laning phase, but somehow, someway they forgot that, hey, this is a team game, right? They're trying to fight against the Team Evil Magic, and unfortunately, they have to falter in this particular game.
A part of us should also remember that Team Evil is a team that thrives in team fight.
That's right.
And the patch, the most recent Project Next patch, it really is all about improving the experience of team fighting. It's not about throwing macro game away, but it really is just so that people will engage in some of these team fights more, which benefits Team Evil so much. But of course, everyone needs to get used to this new patch, and I think that quite a lot of these teams, they did a very good job already.
I feel like the Hilda was quite a big brain move from Team Evil, right? Like this, especially in this particular patch, this map especially, you're just healing all along. You just run from one bush to the other bush. As long as you path correctly, you're literally chasing people down. There's no usually what's the common man saying, right? If you are fighting against Hilda, don't fight Hilda in the bush. But in dangerous grass, there's bushes everywhere.
That is true.
Yeah.
Dangerous grasses is quite literally dangerous grass to which and it really helps and works with Hilda's, Natalia's, and pretty much that's all. Right? It's either these two that really have a very positive buff.
Well, there's also Chip as well, right? You could just sneak somebody in, and after that appear out of nowhere, and then after that start ganking and the whole goon squad. And Chip, unfortunately, doesn't really see the light of day, especially in the playoffs, as much anymore. I think teams are now more concerned about the like of an Alice that's ready to basically counteract with Chip. Chip, on the other hand, also easily countered, especially if you know how to play against him. But now we're gonna have to take a look forward. We're gonna have to take a look at game number 4. I think it's not really about the draft anymore. I feel like it's about the execution, and yes, maybe give Hades his assassins, because he was just performing outstandingly on the Lancelot earlier just now. Game number 1, unfortunately, it was an Ishin. I would call it's kind of like, I think Team Evil fans will hate me when I say this. I feel like game 1 was a fluke because of a very good decision made by the side of Aether to really counter jungle at level 1. It is a very sneaky play.
It is sneaky, and there wasn't a lot of things that Team Flash could do, right? But to be fair though, it still showed promise that Team Evil won 2 games in total, right? If we were to call the first one a fluke, it's still 1-1.
Yep, it's still one game.
It's still one game, and it's still 1-1. We still don't know how game 4 is gonna look like just yet, but we are definitely pivoting towards a certain direction. I gotta have to say though, as much as I love to see Hades playing assassin junglers, and I've always thought that he's amazing when it comes down to assassin junglers, he have just proved me something different, and that is the fact that he can play a pretty darn mean Akai as well.
Yeah, like his positioning is just really wonderful, right? And now it's all about whether Team Flash is able to maintain that kind of momentum. Don't forget, Bear is a momentum-driven player as well, especially Gear. These two players share almost the exact same MO, almost exact same vibe when you play against them or playing with them. On the other hand, if you talk about Powerful on the other side of the aisle, Team Evil, right? Powerful really knows how to come in and also lead the team around so that they're able to maximize their engages and also rotation around the map.
As we prepare ourselves for the new lobby, and of course cleaning up the battlefield, Evil versus Team Flash. These two teams have come a long way. And let's be honest, it doesn't seem like any one of these two teams seemed very tired at all, especially for Evil. I gotta commend them, right? Went through all 5 games in the lower bracket finals, won that, and coming in against Team Flash, and they still have got very strong stamina, very strong showing. And ultimately, this test of endurance is not a test to them at all.
Yeah, I think it's just a mere bump. I feel like they're finally getting into the mojo, they're finally getting into that game phase mood as well, and then they're gonna go on into the next particular map. I think right now it's all about whether they can maintain this momentum, right? Team Evil winning that one game, slowing down Team Flash just a little bit. Team Flash, on the other hand, I think they're still looking on phase when we're just looking at the cameras, and now it's just about Team Evil making sure they have enough fuel in that furnace as they go into game number 4, the 4th map that we have for our grand finals. We're gonna go back into Flying Cloud.
Okay, back to Flying Clouds. This is a map that Team Flash won in game number 2. Not too sure how big of a difference that would be. And most of the time, Flying Clouds is always just quality of life for me. Being able to make your way over to lanes faster, being able to come in with reinforcements after you died a lot faster as well. So generally just increases the pacing of the game the further you are into the opponent's territory.
Now, Yishun Shin and also CC gets taken out. It feels like Team Evo first pick. Do they snap pick the Grok? Do they take the Lancelot? There's also a Gato
Yes, they will take the Lancelot. No
they'll take the
questions
Lancelot
asked.
instead, which means that Flash SG, what are they going to trade? They give away the S++ tier of a jungle over the side of Team Evo. They'll take the Juice in. They'll take the Gato Kacha away instead. Is this a good trade?
Honestly, the fact that the Lancelot is so comfortable with Aether, I don't care. We need to enable Aether, and we need to give him the best game.
Yep, Eve and Grok selected. These are very strong heroes that, you know, Team Evo has selected so far. I'm not a big fan of Juicing, especially in this particular roster against Team Evo, right? You don't really have somebody that can face check, basically need to tank. They try to fight front to back. The Lancelot could easily go into iframe and when the Eve opens up into the real world manipulation, you're just like immune to CC. Don't forget the Grok can also be immune to CC when he goes big as well. So yeah, need to see how TC maneuver, especially using this mid laner.
They have a decently strong mid lane control.
What's your command?
They go in with a
wow.
Fanny.
Wow, it's going to be a bit of an ego challenge once again. Fanny coming in, and this time around, the Fanny's going to have to play a little bit. I think it's a little bit awkward for me because now you're using a Fanny against a Grok. Once a Grok wall being built out, all of a sudden that could be a way for you to escape. You cable there, you
face slam.
You basically face slam, right? Like so, you don't really hear the Attack on Titan's theme song in your ear. But Coach Bitoy, very rapid pace of a banning pool right here, right? Like
For both sides of it,
Lapu,
actually.
the Harry gets taken away, Adamir takes away the Ruby and the Cho, targeting down most of these gold laners.
It doesn't seem like there's any ambiguity between, ambiguity for the first 3 picks for both teams. We know very clearly who is going to play what in this game, right? So it just now left with the second phase picks, the side lanes. Team Flash will now unfortunately be the one that makes the first decision, which and how are they going to play first. I think that they are lacking in a little bit of damage department. Yuzhong, having that in the early game is pretty good.
Yuzhong once again coming in for the side of Flash. Baron did a really good job in the early game, but he's unable to transition away over to the late game. Moss, earlier just now, the Claude wasn't able to output the damage that we're looking for. Even though it was bridged over to him. But now, with the Fanny, hopefully they have a stronger early game. In the early game, especially your first turtle fight, Team Flash does have a solid team fight capability, right? You've got a potential Black Dragon form into a cutthroat to assassinate, hopefully. But now there's going to be an Alice from the side Team Evo this time around. Team Flash need to find a way to deal with this one.
The Moskov is very understandable. We can kind of see that from a mile away. The moment that you kind of see the Fanny and Fanny plus Van equals to Moskov onto Van. And I think that this is a good direction we are going with a decent amount of power spike in the mid stages of the game and to the late stages of the game. Early game, we have got powerful onto the Grok to kind of help around with the bruising element just so that Aether can get some early game kills. So I'm not too sure whether they're going to play very aggressively or not, but Team Flash, they respond with a very respectable Granger. We are once again back to standard gold lane marksman matchup.
Granger in the gold lane. You're going up against an Atlas that could just literally heal up most of her Rhapsodies. You need DPS to deal with him. Yes, you got Juicing to basically try to melt her, hopefully speaking. But I was thinking maybe something else. I would even argue with you, maybe even a carry. It's a lot easier to melt down the Atlas, especially when CC is already taken away by the side of Team Flash themselves. So, you know, gonna go into game number 4 very, very soon. This is a Flying Cloud map. Team Evo coming in for very monster of a roster. You got a real world manipulation right into a Tor, right into a tectonic charge. Flash SG on the other hand, they need, the only way they could disengage is perhaps using the God Contra on the AOG.
As such, ladies and gentlemen, we are now into game number 4 of this grand finals between Evil and Flash Singapore. Into the land of dawn we go. Will Team Flash be able to tally out the scoreline against Evil?
Evil had a very good game earlier just now. They recovered from like imminent downfall. Team Flash on the other hand now playing on the back foot in terms of momentum. Hades needs to have a great game, but it seems like Team Evil is ready for this Fanny. The Moscow being picked up, the Grok as well to counter, and there's also the Eve. Technically speaking, also does quite well right now. All of a sudden, you really cannot walk the Fanny out. The Fanny needs to cable out as quickly as possible.
Mid lane turret is going to be so important from Flash. If they do get a very good early game and be able to hold out with that T1 turret in the middle lane, it's going to be great for Hades. However, they also always have to keep a lookout for any possible invasions. This is very similar to how that Joy was played by Aether and constantly just bumping into the purple buff. However, the difference here is that Fanny is very and extremely reliant on purple buff, that he will not miss that countdown timer in a heartbeat.
Knowing Team Evil, they're definitely going to play the purple buff as if it's a primary objective, right? All of a sudden, your turtle fight doesn't really look like the main thing that Team Evil is looking out for already. Team Flash, I think they need to handshake and be prepared because, you know, knowing Team Evil, they're up to no good.
There, just as a sliver of health, Aether was so close with getting those damage to bring Bear down. But a good amount of Shard residue stacks onto Aether actually brings Bear right back to a very healthy HP.
Yeah, and the Petrify gone right off the bat. That means that no Petrify for the first turtle fight. Even though you got your Black Dragon form and also you go for your Furious Dive, it is a little bit wonky right now. So it's up to Team Flash to maneuver around this one as Team Evil blitz down the turtle as quickly as possible.
Hades will come in with no purple buff at all as it is currently a level 4 early take. Hades missed that timing, allowing Aether to take the turtle down. However, he will now pay for that kill. As such, it is a 1 death score for the side of Evil.
I would say this is a good equalizer coming up with Team Flash, right? Yes, it is. You lose the turtle, however, you also take down Aether as well. You give it over to Bear. Bear should be able to make use of that kind of scaling, but we need to focus more on the gold lane, I would feel. Vanix need to make a play or perhaps start getting some form of lead because, you know, Grandeur early game lane bully, unable to find anything against Van though. Van, all he has to do is just play a little bit passive, fight for his time, because towards the later part of the game, he's just gonna start shredding against Team Flash.
Such, we do have a little bit of a bump in from the side of Evil, literally right in the middle lane. With Hades, he still have the purple buff and he will definitely try to make his way around the map. It's all about high octane for Team Flash. They will run, they will sprint, they will cable, they will make their base right into the face of Evil and try and to look for opportunities for a kill.
That Sonata already unlocked by the side of Vanix and also Hunter Strike. Now Ven has to be the one that plays slightly passive. If you've noticed, Vanix just bum rushed that Hunter Strike. He's so confident, he's actually ignoring boots as of now. However, we need to also start to see more coming out from Hades. Hades needs to start assassinating perhaps the Moskov. You don't deal with gear as well. Or perhaps start finding Sailor, burst him down before he becomes a threat.
We do know that there will be a bit of funneling that needs to be applied over to Aether. He did die once, so he's slightly behind, supposedly. But that's not the case. Aether is currently at level 7, and Hades is on his way to level 7, but he has to wait for the purple buff to appear.
Yep.
So Team Flash, they need to play around this turtle, and they really need to dance around to extend this as much as possible.
The best part about this turtle is that it's not spawning on the EXP side. It's actually spawning on the strongest side for the side of Team Flash, alright? Vanix is more than happy to basically start this this turtle together because he does have a bit of priority in lane. However, if you notice, Team Evil, nice swap, sending Moskov all the way down bot, gear all the way up top so that they can handshake this turtle fight upcoming.
with 4 members from the side of Team Flash now huddling themselves together right here on the turtle. If we were to include the gold laner of Team Flash itself, that will be 5. Jay now pushes himself right into the face of Evil and of course trying to take away the purple buff, or perhaps just a little bit of a bump, but that's not going to be anything for Evil. In fact, they're not even going to be partaking in that turtle fight.
Yeah, and if you notice, Black Dragon from the side there to open up as much. Ooh, that's a decent chunk of damage, but that's a Roma.
He used up almost all of his energy, and that's only half HP off of the Grog.
Yep. So now, like what I mentioned, a lot more focus from the side of Flash should be onto this gear, onto this Atlas. COR already committed to wave clear as quickly as possible. Hades is time out.
Oh, that's gonna be the wild charging right in the face of Hades! Wild Bear hoping to go back in, but unfortunately the Furious Dive is a little bit delayed.
Yeah, giving 1 kill over to Ven. Ven should be able to escalate, and that's the reason why you go for the Moskov when you fight against a Fanny. Team Flash, on the other hand, unable to take down topside turret as well, and now another wall being built.
It's now petrified. Furious dive onto Van. The Shard has to do built up. Is it enough? It's not.
It's not enough. That's actually a little bit of a sad news for the side of Bear. The wall and the powerful wall and also Van's Spear of Misery is just giving so much misery over the side of Team Flash. Item check right here. Yes, Hades has already secured. His blades have a seize right here. But if you notice Team Evo, they've already Aether has already got a War Axe, whereas the Sailor is working towards the glowing one as well. Cortese is taking a bit of a long route, securing the gem first before going into his own glowing one.
The thing is, for Fanny will only start to grow exponentially the moment that he gets 2, 3 items, as he's able to zoom across the map like no tomorrow, right? Clearing out lanes after lanes after lanes. But they also have to identify that positioning, the gold priority. It gotta have to go to Vanix as a position 1. But for now, in the early stages, I think that most of these farms still gotta have to go to Hades, and they need to respect that.
Decent damage already from the side of Aether. Bear picking up bot lane and top lane traded between these two teams.
With the turtle now just spawned, this might be the contest that we are looking for. And this is going to be RWM coming in from the side of Sailors and wants to box everyone else away from the side of Team Flash, while Hades comes in from behind. He tries to get the turtle down, but unfortunately wasn't able to do that as such. It will be here that picks up the kill. And now Bear rushes right in. The AOG comes in, but they are not going to be able to get anything out of that fight.
The TOR goes in, literally locks everybody down for the side of Flash. Vanix as well, stuck in a very awkward position. Powerful right there. Good choice coming out for them to basically slow down the tectonic charge. Doesn't want to land on Vanix because the main focus right there from the side of Team Evil is to take down the turtle. And now with 2 turtle in their pockets, Aether is slightly ahead in terms of EXP. It's more than enough. You put Hades back into a backseat position. They've done the mission.
We're back onto neutral game, where both teams, you kind of stand back a little bit and try to identify where they are on the map and where the opponents are. Now, the problem when it comes down to Evil is that the gold lane T1 target is already gone. And is it worth it for Moskov to move on and kind of go for a lane swap down to the bottom lane where he will be able to farm in peace? Is that something they're trying to go for, or do they want to bump in and try to go for the split push just so that they can bring down the T1 turret, which is technically something that Moskov wants to do. Cross-map plays.
But don't forget, Fanny can also do his... Oh, that's the wall I was talking about!
That's the wall that we're talking about! And now the SODs are going to be landing, and such it will be helping Van run away!
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty darn good for the side of Evil, while now Flash finding themselves in a little bit of a tough spot. Here is literally going to be the vanguard of the team.
Man, that's exactly why it's a really tough game for the side of Fanny. If Hades will be able to pull off this Fanny game, that's amazing because 2 heroes are literally stacked against her. You've got the Moskov, you've also got the Grok. That wall literally block anything that Hades wanted to do as well. Vanix, on the other hand, wasn't able to join the fight earlier just now, but because Ven is just ready to pounce right there, picking up another kill, allowing him to get the necessary item. Vanix, on the other hand, unable to find kills because, and also, that means that he's not able to get any form of Sky Piercer stacks.
We know that having a Moskov is essentially a hard counter to the Fanny, because it just pins to the wall, and Fanny loves the walls. While in the meantime, Powerful as a Grog is more of a soft counter to the side of Fanny. But because of this combination of this hard counter plus soft counter, on the side of Gronk, it kind of feels like we elevated the power or rather the effectiveness and impact of the wall that Gronk is able to bring in to make it into more of a double counter against this Fanny.
Yeah, the best part about this particular patch, especially this revamped Grok, is that you don't really need to rely on your wild charge, technically speaking, now called tectonic charge. There's also another way for you to gain some form of CC as long as you slam the members into the wall, so that's A-okay. But now Flash SG may have to play and fight this Lord on a slight back foot.
Hades currently at level 12 as opposed to Aether at level 13. They are definitely trying to fight for this as they manage to repel Jay away with half HP to his name. It's definitely going to force him to go back home, but that is information that Evil would not know of. They were trying to go for a standoff once again and kind of play things slow.
Yeah. Ben is already working down bot, will show himself just a little bit more. Ben is handing out damage.
Broad cut DZ down to a very low HP. The Black Dragon soars above the skies, zones, and of course circles around a powerful. He don't have a lot of HP, but the Shard residue will build up. Well, Aether clears up the lanes down in the middle lane, while Van split pushes down to the bottom. Hades, we're responding kind up to the top lane. Cable's out of the way.
But he's not able to take down topside turret, right? Oh no,
He
the
did.
minions will be able to, more than enough to do so. As Team Flash right now, and also Team Evil congregates around the Lord Pit.
As now Jay is looking for a taunt down, and he will be able to get that one onto gear. But it is all just a tad little bit of a poke. Powerful actually doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. As such, they might need to go for a little bit of a reset before re-engaging against this Lord.
Bit of a damage support onto Gear as well. Hades also used quite a decent chunk of energy just to try to do that, but Gear just instantly heals everything all the way back up. Now it's time for Hades to go back to take his own purple buff as well. If you notice how Hades has been building this particular Fanny, right? Not a lot of defensive items. Usually you expect maybe a brute force breastplate or maybe even a dreadnought armor, especially when you're going up against something like a Lancelot, right? Skill-based damage is something that you really want to minimize. But now Team Evil, solid control around Lord Pit, up to Team Flash to do something.
We have to remember that execution is actually very important because of Flying Clouds. As big a Flying Cloud J will be coming in. Aether takes the Lord down. Everyone is just going to be fighting right inside of CR as well as RWM. We got SOD, Joyce, Void, Van doing what he can, slamming on the misery and spears right into J. Super Califragilisticexpialidocious. Finally, I got it out of my head.
I was like, what kind of language is that, Abstract? But hey, that doesn't really matter because Team Flash earlier just now, they're running low on steam as well, right? Like, there's so much that Vanix can only do because you've got Grok. You've also got like the likes of Gear going in and the real wall manipulation, zoning the rest of the members from the side of Team Flash. There's nothing that Team Flash could do but watch that Lord gets taken down.
Now the T1 turret in the middle lane will be taken down with the Lord that will be marching in from the bottom lane. We are almost looking at an entire outer lanes for Team Flash SG to be taken down, but there is still that one in the center. That is the T2.
Yeah, now the Lord marching up against Team Flash. Gear on this TOR is just, man, it's a massive madness right there.
Oh. They were almost looking for something right there.
Yep,
But
TOR.
we are looking for the SOD as well as the TOR right into the heart of Flash. Van picks up the kill on the Vanix and they will be trying to move everything into the heart of Flash. We already have the one person each that will be taken down. In fact, both of the marksmen is dead already. Hades look for an opportunity to run away right after getting the assassination in onto Aether.
Solid defense coming out of Team Flash. RBA losing Vanix right there. But you can start to see the damage coming off of Ben is starting to be a lot more problem. Gear engaging and charging out the TOR is literally limiting Team Flash on whatever they do. If Barrett's unable to maneuver around the map, applying Shard residue all over the place, he will not be able to survive these fights any longer.
70 seconds left until the next Lord eventually spawns. One thing that we gotta have to remember is Team Flash now have got a heavy lane down in the bottom lane. It's gonna be real difficult for Team Flash to try to take up any future Lord fights. But fortunately, the next Lord is down at the bottom. It is not on the opposite of this tough lane for Flash.
Yeah, Flash could basically reinforce that lane very quickly and then move all the way back up. the Wind of Nature already secured by the side of Vanek. See Halbert as well. He needs a lot more than that to be able to deal with gear. You can see the Rhapsody damage poured down into Team Evil. Team Evil is ready to soak up everything, especially on the hands of Powerful. Hades goes for the Sea Halbert as well, and also Hunter Strike. He's looking to try to burst, but he's unable to burst anybody from the side of Team Evil, unfortunately.
Looks like we do have God Aether trying to look for something. If forced the Wind of Nature on the side of Vanek, this might actually be further opportunity that it can try to go for. Hades got stopped. When Tectonic Charge is not going to land. While in the meantime, the Spear of Destruction is just coming to be landing, and Van just joins into the team fight. Unfortunately, Aether is going to be the first one to go down, while the next blood goes to Baron as Van picks that kill up. The AOG from Jay gets him running away, while Gear continues to sway.
Yeah, it's just Team Flash was able to trade at the very least Aether, right? One jungler down, but it doesn't really matter because they take down Bear. Bear slow it down is actually wonderful news for the side of Team Evil. But now it's also a little bit of an awkward position right now. Team Evil doesn't really have a jungler, needs to buy some form of time, maybe another 10 seconds. But Flash, unless Hades wants to go for a bit of a drive-by.
You know that this is Flying Clouds.
Yep.
I'm not too sure whether they have any more clouds for the side of Team Flash Singapore.
Be able to do so, right? Hades is on the opposite side of the map. He's actually making his way all the way down. Flash SG, on the other hand, they do have Bear on the Black Dragon form. Hopefully, we'll be able to disrupt as much as possible. But the TOR is just a big problem because the beacon already used by Curtizi.
A power spike for the side of Ven as he just picks up the Malefic gun. This is going to be huge. Although I gotta know. Does Fanny have the purple buff? Yes, he does. As now, it's just going to be spinning for days. The airborne onto the side of Hades, but he will definitely be able to assassinate Sailor! All the way to the back, he cables right out of the way! While Van looks for the kill down on the Vanix, and instead, it's a double kill! Sailor returns and retaliates, gets the kill down on the Hades somehow! While triple kill credits over to Van! Jay gives the Maniac over to Van!
And the worst part is, Flash, there's nobody left at home, left at base to basically defend against this abstract. Team Evil, that was a Maniac for the side of Van, and now this is the final surge and also the lead as Team Evil secures game number 4. 1 game away, abstract. One game away.
This is match point!
Tournament point.
Tournament point! Championship point!
Ticket point.
Coronation point. We are almost at that stage where we crown a new king. But we're not gonna get ahead of ourselves just yet. As of course, Flash is known for their resilience. They're not gonna go down that easily. And in fact, I think that we are gonna be treated with some crazy game in the next one, because that, as we mentioned, is the life of Flash Singapore that is at stake here.
Yeah, literally, like, the Flash literally just flashed the light, flashed through their eyes. All of a sudden, this is a very awkward position. 1 game away before Team Evil booked their tickets all the way to Jakarta, all the way to M7. They are close. We are close to making history, not only just in MPL Singapore, but also in the rest of the MPL, because for the first time, it may be a new champion for the side of MPL Singapore, and Team Flash gets their 5-pit denied.
I would like to believe that denying a 5-pit, which is a monumental achievement throughout the entire international MLBB competitive world, this is a huge, big matter.
Yeah, and the fact is none of the MPL teams actually made it through 5-pit, right? Mostly falter at around 4-pit. But now Team Evil, man, they are just so huge right now. That confidence, that momentum that they have they're just ready to erupt, and they're ready to show who's boss in MPL Singapore.
As such, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be tough for us to really crown an MVP for this very specific game itself. But what's your MVP for this one?
I think it's just I would say Grok. I would say
you'll say Grok?
Powerful. Yeah,
okay.
I would say Powerful because, man, I think in the previous game his contribution was kind of not done really well, not really given a lot of credit. But this time I'm gonna give credit over the side of Gear on this Alice, on this MVP. In this particular series, something is actually kind of wonky, right? You see a lot of teams prioritize on the Alice, but all of a sudden Team Evil pulls out the Alice, and then after that they basically lock down a lot of things that what Team Flash wants to do, and they're not able to do so.
I think that the clue of this game for Team Flash was to fight back with a Fanny. But I think that they didn't really quite expect that the counter and the fight back is something as simple as a Grok plus a Moskov. And of course, I think that for the side of Hades, he have played against these two heroes obscene amount of times in his career. He knows how to go around it. As such, it's not really just about these two picks that really just outright denied Hades of his game. It is something bigger altogether.
Yeah. Team Flash finding themselves in the back foot. This is a little bit awkward, right? Hades, like when I mentioned, I don't know why they really forced this Fanny through, right? You've got Ven, you've got the Powerful. These are two heroes that literally counters exactly what the Fanny wants to do. You don't forget, your gear goes in the TOR, makes easy pickings. You couple gear alongside with Sailor on these two heroes together. It's just CC Festival. All inside that box, you have the circle, you have a pentagon, you have a triangle, you have a rectangle, and you have Van that could just teleport from one place to another. It's just a little bit too much for Flash to handle, right? Vanix, even though with the Rhapsody, he's able to get quite a decent amount of games, as decent amount of damage with the Sea Halberd and the Magnific Gun and Magnific Roar. Still not good enough because Powerful is thick. You also got Gear, who is also thick, and Van is just throwing spears at your face and just spraying AoE all across.
Ultimately, the one that really clinched out the game, or rather, what really solidified the game, gotta have to be a big power spike from the side of Ven, right? Having the Malefic Gun with the enhanced reach the opponents, especially since we saw Aether going down pretty darn early in that previous team fight. That was a tough call, the fact that they no longer have Aether, and they also lost the Lord for that one. And somehow, wait, wasn't that the one that Flash got the Lord?
Well,
oh, maybe I'm having a little bit of a brain fart.
No, Flash did not even get a Lord. If you take a
look,
look,
they didn't get the Lord at all.
Team Evil doesn't really need that last Lord, right? That last Lord,
they just ran it down in the middle lane right after getting those wins.
Yeah, that last Lord was just an excuse to be able to take down Flash SG. Van was so huge earlier just now, picking up a Maniac for the side of Team Evil as well, just literally throwing spears one after another against Flash SG. The spread of damage is just too much to hold. Jay got taken down immediately. Just take a look at the damage taken by the side of Jay. 187k damage, whereas, Team Evil is just really coming online, especially when everybody gets stuck inside the box, inside the circle. And of course, don't forget, you also have the tectonic charge from Powerful.
Crazy amount of damage going all across the board, especially when it comes down to gear, right? Taking 122,000. That's kind of crazy if you ask me. But I do want to know, as you take a look at Hades, right? He's been definitely having a little bit of trouble trying to get kills. And in fact, for him to be able to cable all across the map, trying to get his balance the buffs and all that kind of jazz, while still trying to go for assassinations while having two solid counters on the opposite side, is a tough game for him.
It is. It is not an easy game for Hades, right? Hades was able to perform quite well in game number 2 on this land slot, and I was really surprised. Alice was literally forgotten by both of these two teams. And then after that, Team Evil pulling out Alice at game number 4 literally caught, I think, Team Flash off guard. There's also a case to be made as Gatakacha. Yes, Gatakacha is also a really solid roamer. There's also the Juicin, which is also a prior pick for quite a lot of these mid lanes. But from Flash SG, who do you land the lantern on for the side of Juicin, right? There's not a lot of people for you to do that. Grok would definitely bum rush towards you and then slap you to the wall. Yes, Nutrition can try to kite, but the Grok, the tectonic charge, could just easily catch up to you very quickly. You got a Landslot that could just go for iframes. Eve, what are you trying to do? Crimson Beacon onto him?
Yes.
No. You immediately get burned. You immediately get TOR right in the face. So no, I think it's most of the time, it's also a very hard game for Curtizi to be able to do enough damage as well.
Yeah, so ultimately, I will say that for Team Flash's lineup, they do have got a pretty decent lineup for front to back and trying to, I would say, extend team fights. They've got good damage from Granger, from Yuzhong as well. And my only problem is, when it comes down to the roaming trio, it's Gatakacha, Juicin, and Fanny. And in some sense, it's not really a trio anymore because Fanny has got too much things that you're gonna have to handle, In the meantime, Gatakacha gonna have to ensure that purple buff is safe and sound. Not gonna be raided by Aether or any of that sorts. So when it comes down to the roaming trio kind of thing, it doesn't seem like we are expecting too much, or we didn't really quite see too much of that too.
Yeah, I think Team Evil found this kind of roster against Team Flash. Team Flash taking an L in this particular game. Hopefully they can recover, but they need to win like what, 2-3 games straight in order to be able to beat this one, because we are at tournament point for the side of Team Evil.
Indeed. As such, this is a difficult break to go into, because once we are back, we may very potentially be able to crown the new king. Otherwise, we will continue to see this entire marathon run through, and we'll see whether the undying sovereign will stay undying. We'll be back with you guys after this short break.
Welcome to Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Lowest prices, incredible benefits.
Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12th to October 19th, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semi-finals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualifications for the first MCGG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching.
to Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going back over to match point, tournament point, and what other point there is again? Game point,
History point.
sorry,
History point.
history point,
And center point.
and at center point. That was actually not too bad.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. We are here at center point, and we are at game number 5, where Team Flash only managed to take a single game out of Team Evil, while Team Evil has managed to get a total of 3 games to their name, putting themselves at match point. One more win, and they will usurp this undying sovereign.
Yeah, literally denying the 5-peat dream coming out from Team Flash, right? Also denying the fact that until this day in MPL history, none of the teams had a 5-peat win, especially in MPL, in their respective MPL, because, you know, Team Evil, you know, the rising stars, the rising community heroes from the side of MPL Singapore, hailing all the way since season 3 as well. They've really come so far, and I'm really proud on, you know, especially for the likes of Powerful, Sailor, and also Gear, Van and Aether as well, especially Sailor and Gear. They haven't represented Singapore for quite some time already, and earlier just now when I was bumping into them before they were at the toilet, during the toilet break, they were literally like shaking in excitement. They really want to book that ticket to M7 to Jakarta.
Everyone is extremely hungry at this point in time, and Evil, they are at arm's reach to this ticket. They were at arm's reach to Jakarta.
The manager's ready to book their ticket, and don't forget, Team Flash, a solid organization that's really have a solid backing.
A rich background.
Yeah, but at the same time, Team Evil, they're rich in history. The fans are also here to try to cheer them on as well. And also, you know, hailing from community, they really started from zero, and they are finally here. A literal Singaporean dream right there.
When it comes down to Flash Singapore, they literally made gamers, or turned gamers into heroes. With, of course, a 4-win streak. They were everyone's heroes, alright? With representations for Singapore over the few years. But perhaps, just perhaps, when it comes down to Evil, they were 0 at, of course, Season 3. And is this the moment? Well, you mentioned 0 to hero?
Could be. Not only just 0 to hero, I would say 0 to evil, right? Like, literally, they're literally going evil, Team Evil right here against Team Flash. But we really have to see, once again, we go into Dangerous Grass. Team Evil pulled off the Hilda in Dangerous Grass before. Would they do the same this time around?
With Jusin, Yisun Shin, and Cici, they will go over to the side of Flash. That those are the bans. While for Evil, they have banned out the Hayabusa, Farza, and Kimi. As such, they have lost the Lancelot, only to retaliate by picking up the Baxia and Grog.
Wow, are you serious? Team Flash leaking out the Grog and also the Baxia over the side of Team Evil? You saw how Aether was so solid on the Baxia in the previous match, and especially at match point, you really want to do this.
I'm not too sure what exactly do they have at, well, in the notebooks. Maybe they have got some situations that they have definitely know about. One thing's for sure, Hades is really cool when it comes down to his Lancelot. We might be onto something for the side of Team Flash. Not gonna count them out just yet, just because of the fact that the Baxia entered the hands of Evil. There must
be a little bit more out of this.
Yeah, a bit of a history lesson as well. Team Flash and Evil have met in the grand finals before in Season 8, but the score was reversed. It was a 4-1 for the side of well, I almost read NIP Flash. Back then, there were NIP Flash. It was a 4-1
Yes.
over the side of Team Flash, and technically speaking, it was a slightly different Flash, right? It was a slightly different Team Evil. However, this time around, this feels like a peak form of Team Evil. They cannot lose their focus right now, Abstract.
And remember, they are just this close to getting themselves the win. This close. But they have to, of course, make it through this drafting stage first. And you know what they say, the drafting stage is always gonna be the first battle between the coaches, which will spell it for the players that enters into the battlefield.
Yeah, okay, this time around, at the very least, from the side of Team Flash, I like what they picked up so far, right? The Lancelot going back in the hands of Hades as well. He's played really well in game number 2 earlier just now. Harif, on the other hand, the Zaman Force laying down in the real world manipulation. All of a sudden, yes, it is, you're not really vulnerable to the real world manipulation as you just zip zap around and output the damage. But once again, Team Evil, I think they really have to play a very fast-paced game alongside with this Baxia, right? Gotta catch up on the side of Team Flash once again, but also a lot more focus on Bear, in my opinion. What kind are they gonna feel the Yuzhong once again? Maybe this time around, yes, if you're going up against a Sailor's Yi, but take a look at the ban. Valentina, the Lunox getting banned out. Once again, Farsight as well. Team Flash literally starving out in terms of their mid lane pool.
Right now, there is not a lot of shred options from the side of Team Flash. Now that the Lunox is gone, the CC is gone as well, there might be a possibility that Evil is trying to force Flash into playing an X-Bog XP, given the fact that they have very tanky front lines from the Grok and the Baxia.
Xbox is really good, I would say.
Unless they steal it themselves.
Yeah, Last Insanity, you also burn the Baxia, you also burn the Grok. Last Insanity to also force the real world manipulation off. Moscow will get taken out by the side of Team Flash.
So now the ball is on the court of Evil. Do they want to steal that Xbox?
Nope.
Nope.
You're gonna get the Lapu Lapu. Instead, Lapu Lapu works also very well for this Eve. The Xborg will also be a little bit awkward as well if you mention it. Especially when you fight inside a real world manipulation, right? You're unable to just step forward. You're reliant on your movement speed to basically start burning down that Eve. However, Lapu Lapu, that's something that Gear loves to play. He's very aggressive on that. The Bravest Warrior also forces the Bravest Warrior also forces the stun onto the Harry as go into Zaman Force. But right now, I'm looking at the last 2 picks from the side of Team Flash.
At the moment, they're lacking of XP and mid. Lacking of XP and mid, and so far with a Harif in tow, they want to play Area Denial. Oh, the Selena! So, this is gonna be a wombo combo in some sense between the Selena and the Gatukacha. Not as simple and not as easy as a Baxia plus Selena combination, but it can still work. There is a very high lethality when it comes down to Gatukacha's taunt. And every time you see that the Gatukacha is about to come at you with a taunt, you need to run before the Absol arrow lands onto you.
Right. This is gonna be a do-or-die moment for the side of Team Flash. TZ pulls off the Selena all the way up in the last moment. Hopefully speaking, that's more than enough, because don't forget, early game is definitely going to go in the favor of Team Flash, right? Like, you've got your Selena, you've got your Lancelot that could just do quite a good amount of damage, especially in the early game. Hopefully they can use that to snowball all the way to late, start ganking onto Bruno, also start ganking onto the likes of Yeep, and also slow down, hopefully, Baxia.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the center point. The crowd is ready for the entrance of Team Evil. Well, for Team Flash, they may be behind, but they are not out just yet. As such, we are gonna go straight into the land of dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, bear witness to the possible champions from the side of Team Evil, while Flash defends the throne.
They really have to pull all the stops right here, Abstract. They're literally balancing on the wire, dancing on a surgical knife. One false move, if you botch the early game, it is going to be over. We've seen this before for the side of Team Flash. Team Evil, on the other hand, like what I mentioned, the Boxia pick from the side, Team Evil is going to help them out in the early game, and I want to see more. Curtiz is going to start off taking quite a bit of damage already from the side of the mid lane.
Right off the bat, we're looking at the lane priorities. And of course, whenever you look at a Grok Plaza Yi, you always know that the wave clear will be crazy. But look at Curtiz. Oh, he's just shoved right inside of his middle lane. Doesn't really have a lot of opportunities or any form of help from the Katukacha, because Katukacha is all the way at the top lane supporting that Harith.
Yeah, and the interesting part is Curtiz definitely needs a level 2. I was expecting Jade to really spend most of the time down in the mid lane as well to hopefully to wave clear using the concussive blast, but Curtiz kind of sent the Jade all the way up top. Yes, it is a Bruno versus Inherit matchup. It's kind of equal, but towards the long run, it is going to be a little bit awkward. Oh, okay.
That's a good thunder. Oh, but Aether broke the silence with the first kill of the game, and they're looking for the second.
Aether. Man, this is why you don't give the Boxer over the side of Team Evil, because Aether is so confident and comfortable with it. Even Jay on a Revitalize is not enough to save Hades. Hades constantly get the wall block, constantly get the front of execution, getting turned off as well. And now they're going to be a little bit awkward position going into the Total Fire Abstract.
Hades will definitely want to go for a little bit of a steal, but he seems like he's slightly stuck here. I hope he still have a puncture, but indeed, that is going to be the Thorn Rose from the side of Hades that will be able to secure down to the turtle, together with the Retribution, with the Phantom Execution. They might be able to land on the gear, but gear is not going to falter just yet.
Man, the TOR coming off on Bear was the only thing that will be able to push Team Evil back. The turtle pickup from the side of Team Flash is A-okay, but Team Evil, though, they can easily grow out of it. 2 kills on the side of Boxia right on the bat. Going to the later part of the game, you don't really have an answer on the Boxia, especially if you're Phoenix on this Harith. Yeah, it's a little bit scary, but Team Evil, on the other hand, I think they can stabilize this one.
Speaking of stabilized, things will start to slow down a little bit. Even though we have a small little skirmish up to the top lane, it is not really something that will bring Jay down that easily. We have got Evil that is really just creating a diagonal space between them and Flash by trying to take a little bit more control off of the river lines.
Yep, Bear going directly into the Oracle, skipping the Molten Core, but Gears worked on his Fury Hammer already, should be going into some form of magic resist. If you take a look from the side of Van, also, first item is that Heart's Claws. Heart's Claws versus what Vanix needs to secure for himself. He needs at least a Battle of Heavens and a Starlium Scythe. These are very expensive items compared to Heart's Claws, because Van would just escalate out of control. Hades, on the other hand, that turtle pickup is definitely way okay, but Aether could just easily slam into anybody right now.
Crashes onto Jay. The Void Crystal that slows Jay down. Jay will take the L that easily. What a wild shot from Powerful. Sends 2 person flying up to the air. RWM to further supplement it. Forces Curtiz as well as Hades to back off.
The window, the early game window for the start Team Flash is starting to disappear because of Aether, and now, okay, TOR.
But the flicker from Powerful, he gets himself right away and ensure that he don't give any needless kills to the side of Hades. But in the meantime, top lane, Phoenix!
Oh, the tick. The Imperial Rage not good enough. Ven will be able to survive with a sliver. But like what I mentioned, the early game for the side, Curtiz is starting to fall just a little bit. Team Evil, on the other hand, they will escalate out of control around the mid game unless Bear finds a solid TOR.
But in the meantime, Gear is literally going to be in the face of Bear. They know that there is a possibility that the TOR will happen, and that will catch on to everyone. So they play things down a little bit slowly with only, hey, Aether! He's just spinning around, and he still managed to get a kill down onto the turtle. Curtiz doesn't have a lot of HP to work with, while Gear single-handedly is just holding on to 3%. But alas, he will still go down.
Curtiz baiting out, but the main target will be Phoenix all the way up top. The worldie will be committed. Phoenix actually trying desperately to survive.
As we are inching closer and closer to the demise of Flash SG, the morale and tempo might be low due to the fact that we're looking at a 3-kill deficit, and to make matters worse, we have the top lane T1 that has been destroyed. At least Bear responds in kind with a respective push down to the bottom.
You can see how fast Ben actually tears down the top side turret, right? That's the power of the Bruno, a massive siege unit. And we haven't seen Cortese, you know, using this Selena to his greatest advantage. Take a look right now, building towards the glowing one. First, looking for more like a late game Selena, hopefully. But late game Selena doesn't really work well if you're constantly having to fight backwards, because Jay is the main punching bag for the side of Team Evil. He's taking out Jay like it's nobody's business. AOG.
Aether meets his will, but the AOG climbs down over to the creep wave. Powerful tectonic charges himself right out of dodge. They do not want to participate in that fight anymore. But in the meantime, it does seem like Gear managed to spy onto Hades while he goes in to take the steal on the purple buff. There is creep waves, so it's not going to be easy to crash down onto him.
Thorn rolls right there. The iframes will be allowing, you know, him to just survive the clash just a little bit, because Gear and Aether will look at Hades like it's food. Right now, Flash SG really need to play around his choke points. Wait for Vanix to scale up as a very late game Harif, and then let's play around the choke points. But choke points is where Team Evil also truly shines, right? Sailor could just go in the real world manipulation. The tectonic charge could come easily, and don't forget the bravest warrior, just one straight line down, everybody's stunned.
I do want to see a little bit more wombo combo between Jay as well as Cortese. There isn't a lot of opportunities for Flash to just root someone down or to stun someone down in order to really ensure that Cortese is able to land a very good Absol arrow. As such, Team Evil, they will be able to take the enmity of the turtle and of course take it down very easily. Now they're going to be focusing all of their firepower down over to Bear. With Alice down, one of the main front lines for Flash will be taken down.
Yeah. Bear wasn't able to cast his own TO on. The rest of the members from the side of Team Evil just shoving down damage onto Bear. He's unable to hold that one. And now the turtle getting taken down this time around for the side of Team Evil. Van.
AOG.
Vanix
comes in and slams down on the Aether, but he is pretty tanky after all, as now Sailor opens up the real world manipulation, manipulated the life that is within of the box. Well, we do have the arrow, lands on the Sailor, it's 3v1, Jay survived for long, but not long enough.
Hades is actually out of the picture right there, trying to create the opportunities around the map when that whole sequence activated, but don't forget, Aether could easily just jump and handle Hades. Just take a look at how Team Evo is just manhandling Hades. Yes, you are in Lancelot, but this time around, I brought a lot more lockdowns.
And let's not forget, Hades currently at level 12. This is one heck of a level disparity between him and Aether. This is Hades literally just giving Aether a taste of his own medicine for when Aether was playing as the Joy.
Yeah, Phoenix right now, 2-0-1 is his kill score. Right now, you just need Flash SG just need to buy a lot more time, right? Like Cortese on the Selena, yes, we'll be able to pick up one kill. That's A-okay, but maybe it's time for Team Flash to look at the late game. Use the Selena more on, start to get more items for the Selena. For example, the book, and also perhaps the glowing one, and start playing stuff like this.
Immediately, just gonna be Jay coming in from the back, while in the meantime, the TOR is just gonna be preparing itself right down into the people within of RWM. Sailor hopes to get away, only for Hades to pick up a double. All 5 members of the side of Flash will now be knocking onto the T1 turret in the middle lane, and Evil, only with Aether and Powerful to do something about this.
Beautiful TOR coming up from Bear, Abstract, and also Cortese. That stun right there, slowing down the tempo. Really just messing up the wombo combos coming up. Team Evil, Vanix outputting the damage from behind. That's absolutely wonderful and exactly what Flash needs. And now as Team Evil takes a back foot just a little bit, there's a bit of fighting chance for Team Flash.
Evil, as they slowly make their way back into the middle lane, they once again will lose that purple buff. They're slowly starting to lose these landmass. And they're also starting to lose some of these free gold that are scattered all over the land of Dawn. The moment that they start to lose even more of these standing objective, the worse the situation it would be for Evil.
Twilight Armor being secured by the side of Team Flash already, especially in Bear. The book, these are 2 core items for the side of Selena. Flash, on the other hand, item check for the side of Harif does have the Feather Heavens and also the Starlim size as well. So he's technically online, and Hades, on the other hand, man, trust him as this one. But TOR,
he's just gonna be landing on the one.
Bear.
Aether is the only one that is eating that. While Bear engaged into nothingness. Got one only, so he's just gonna suffer that fate. But Jay somehow he got caught. but he's still gonna be able to AOG out of that fight. They're looking for more, but it does seem like the Abyssal Arrow will land onto Aether, but it's just a little bit too tanky for him to just go down like that.
But this is a big problem for our side, Team Evil. Yes, you're able to pick up Bear right there, up there at the bottom lane. Flash SG sneaks away the mid lane turret and also potentially up top. If Gear's wasn't there to basically defend against them minions, that would be even worse for Team Evil as Flash SG gains some gold lead.
Hades is already at level 15. Well, as a matter of fact, for the side of Aether, still at level 13. This upcoming Lord in 80 seconds time. Aether needs to do something within of this 80 seconds to catch up in 2 levels. Otherwise, the 50-50 is definitely going to go towards the hands of Hades.
Wait, wasn't Flash on the deficit early game?
Well, not anymore.
What? Wait, Hades was actually power farming all the way, sneaking, jungle creeps away. That was clearing, and then Aether all of a sudden is playing on the back foot. The retreat battle is definitely going in the favor of the side of Team Flash.
Evil has effectively lost 3 purple buffs. Let's remember that. 3 purple buffs, and Aether finds it difficult to continue on with getting decent amount of farms.
Kha'Zix stunning up Aether, just a bit of a tickle for now. Kha'Zix needs more of that. Right now, this Kha'Zix is basically playing like a Novaria, right? Letting down the Abyssal Arrow and also the, hopefully those marks pop. It also spreads damage all across the board from the side of Team Evil.
Item check with the Heart's Claws, Berserker's Fury, and
that's
the
a lot of
Malefic
damage.
Gun for the side of Bruno.
Yep. There's a lot of damage already for the side of Ven, right? And Holy Crystal secured by the side of Vanix. Vanix,
neck and neck.
Both the gold laners are ready to fight. However, Ven, I think this is going to be a Wind of Nature being secured for itself. Oh no, sorry, could be a Rose Gold Meteor. Frog Camp is very, very important.
Yes. Because now we ease the tension just to prepare for this upcoming fight! As Hades, he goes down, and so will Ven! 2 of the members coming from, 1 of each member from the side of Evil as well as Flash. They're all in a very difficult spot. With powerful, just slip off, help me walks away. Ven is gonna be the next person down. So parts 1 and 2 from the side of Flash is already gone. Kha'Zix flickers away while they are trying to go back for a continuous fight, but Bear wasn't able to sustain long enough. Gear continues to gnaw right into Jay.
And Sailor just landing down damage from afar, and Gear coming in the nick of time, just heals everything back up. Flash SG literally ran out of utilities, ran out of steam, and they're unable to continue on. Vanix right there was a perfect engage. They will be able to catch somebody from the side of Team Evil, but that's not good enough as Team Evil pivots over to the Lord.
At this point in time, Aether doesn't even need to find any opportunity or find a reason to reach level 15 because they flat out just won in that battle. With Hades out of the picture, it's no longer 50-50. It's a 1:99. With a retribution, he would get that.
Yeah, brute force plate secured by the side of Hades. Hades needs a lot more tankiness and also the CD that's provided. Hades is literally power farming every single jungle creep right now, trying to get as much or deny as much creep against Team Evil for now. Aether with that Lord takedown has escalated all the way to level 15, but Ven on this Bruno can juggle balls and also output quite a decent chunk of damage. Rose Gold Meteor secured by Ven as well.
More survivability for Ven as now he will be able to play a little bit more bold. The Lord raises his trident and pierces right through to the T2 turrets up in the top lane. Jay finds himself suffering a little bit and forced with the AOG to get out of that heat.
One massive ultimate already committed just for survival. Whoa, Hades, stop. My heart.
A little bit of a hard attack coming in for fans of Flash or even fans of Evil. That could quite literally go anywhere.
Yeah, Hades is like playing like the you go into the
scary, I don't know, Minesweeper?
Scary house and then there's this jump
haunted
scare.
house.
Yeah, haunted house, and he's literally jump scare. All of a sudden a random Hades right there, Thorn Rose, and then all of a sudden Phantom Execution. You're immediately getting assassinated. Jay right around trying to find an opportunity.
DORs 2 encapsulates everyone within the RWM. Gear joins in the fight shortly after. He does have a little bit of CC immunity. While in the meantime, it's going to be 3 buttons coming in from the side of Flash. That's already been taken down.
Flash winning steam.
The last member remaining from the side of Team Flash.
20 seconds on the clock, ladies and gents. Team Flash, they need to use as much support as well. Team Evil, they're going to blitz through this abstract.
They will blitz. However, then again, the undying sovereign will finally lose its crown.
Ladies and gentlemen, history has been made. The community hero since season 3 and they rose all the way, becoming the champions of MPL Singapore.
The lifelong dream of Evil as they fight for championship since Season 3 has finally been realized.
They cracked and pulled Team Flash apart. They broke history. Finally, we welcome a brand new challenger in MPL Singapore. Congratulations over to Team Evil as they rose to become a titan of MPL Singapore.
The usurpers are now your new kings. Singapore, they are your M7 representative!
The lifelong dream of Powerful, alongside his original teammates, I believe they're also cheering from wherever they are. They've worked so hard. Powerful, my goodness me, this kid has grown so much. Season 3, we're laughing at him like a joke of a jungler, but now he's here. He is the roamer that led Team Evil, the anchor of Team Evil. Remember, we started this regular season with saying that this is Team Evil season, and this is it. A Cinderella of a story abstract from the lower brackets, defeating Team Flash.
An uphill climb. They've went through it all. Meta changes, changes in roster, playstyle changes, and finally they conquered it all. And they took the chance here in Season 10, crowned themselves champion, and now within arm's reach of the trophy.
Man, that must have been super proud. I'm super proud of this team. You know, shout out to Riz. If you remember, shout out to Riz as well. He's been cheering on this team since Season 3 as well. One of our casters. Man, what a beautiful Season 10 abstract.
We have to also remember when it comes down to the history of, well, Evil. There were many changes when it comes down to the roster. Powerful has been in the roster for the longest time ever.
Season 3.
Piloting as the team leader, the jungler, then the roamer, the team captain, everything, the coach. And then we have Gear as well as Sailor. They join in to this team with the same kind of hopes, especially when it comes down to Sailor. He's been sticking with Powerful ever since his days of prime were thought to be over.
Yeah, the power of friendship also coming in for the sign of Sailor and also Gear, right? I'm so proud of these boys. Man, amazing games, amazing series as well. Team Flash, unfortunately, faltering right there. Team Evil is gonna be the main devil right here.
I gotta have to say, as much as possible, we will want to hail our new champions. We gotta have to give this time also to say thank you to Team Flash. It is a rough time for them to not be able to continue to the 5-beat. Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta have to give a huge thank you and of course a round of applause to Team Flash for their great showing going up against Evil.
Man, just gonna do a bit of fist bump. A very well fought there for the side of Team Flash as well. Of course, Team Evil, like what I mentioned, the Cinderella story coming in to fruition. Fairy Godmother, look at them, smiled, gave the blessing as well, as the Team Evil should be making their way to pick up the trophy very soon. But before that, huge shout out over to Team Flash as they make the final bow, as they bow out from MPL Singapore for now. They will not be going to M7.
And now, the moment that we all have been waiting for. With the trophy just within arm's reach, right in the center of the stage, we have Powerful, we have Batoy, we have Ven, we have Aether, Gear, and Sailor.
Yep, with that said, ladies and gents, we're gonna hand our time over to the host, Suki, as they will be taking over the proceedings as we congratulate Team Evil for being champions. My name is Jay, this is the Abstract. We'll catch you next time.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, just one moment before we get too excited. first, we got to present the IT check over to the winning team. All right, and the IT check is coming. It's running down the aisle like a wedding. And here we go. The grooms for today are going to be the champions, Team Evil. Congratulations to Team Evil. Here, the champions today. We're going to use the confetti when we lift the trophy. Nope. All right, one moment, guys. All right, let's go. Okay. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to lift the trophy. On the count of 3, 3, 2, 1, Evil! All right, and now we're going to announce the finals. MVP. Guys, do we have any guesses for who it is? Of course, how can it be anyone else? But the man, the myth, the legend, the heart of the team is going to be powerful. Who is our MVP? Is years in MPL Singapore. This is true dedication, this is true passion. And this is what Powerful has worked all this time for. And now here we have the representative of MPL Singapore to pass on the finals MVP prize to Powerful. Give it up for Powerful! All right, can we get the whole team over here? Evil, come on. We gotta go get a bit of a thoughts from you guys, as you guys have won. Okay, I won't interview you. All right, Evil. I'm gonna ask the question. Anyone can answer. Powerful might be a bit emotional right now, but how does it finally feel being crowned the champions of MPL Singapore?
It feels amazing. All of us have been chasing this since last time. Me, Sela, we won it once in our career, but then we played so many years and then we never touched it ever again. Powerful, since he built this team from the ground up, he has always been one of the most passionate players I've ever been with. And I think Eta and Van, they're so underrated in their own region. They deserve a way better team, and I'm glad they are in our team. I love you all.
All right, I can feel the love, I can feel the passion, the preparations coming into the grand finals. Powerful, maybe you can just share a few words on your thoughts right now, because you are obviously the man that built the team. You built this all for this today. How does it feel?
I'm extremely happy. I finally did it. It's like a dream to me, to be honest, right now. But yeah, finally done it.
Finally done it. What can the fans expect from Evil going into M7? I mean, now you've got a full roster, you've got a coach even, and this is something that you have finally achieved after so many years. Does anybody want to share a little bit of what you guys want to bring for the fans going into M7? Okay, coach, answer?
For the M7, we will definitely give in our best. Since it's our first time there, I believe we will give a good result over there. And my coach here have give me a lot of like ideas and like all the ideas, gameplay and everything. Because of him, Evo is able to make it here also. So thank you to coach.
To be honest, I didn't expect Powerful to get me at here, but they trust me so much, even the grand finals. Even the last game, they trust me the different draft.
All right, one final question. Anything you want to say to your fans?
We are the champions!
All right, let's lift the trophy one more time. All right, everyone, give it up. One more time for your champions, Team Evil.
MPL Singapore Season 10 is powered by Moonton and Pulse Nova Entertainment. Presented by IT, your homegrown bubble tea brand since 2011. Official gaming chair partner DX Racer, the pioneer of the world's first gaming chair. Our partner in esports, Future Living and Singapore Esports Association. Our official playoffs venue partner, The Centrepoint. And our official broadband partner, My Republic.